Hey guys, today we have the Men Over 40 4 tips to approach women without being creepy. Okay, can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, please just type yes in the chat so we know. And let's just get stuck in. So, first up, we have the number one, which is 7 deadly mistakes that every man makes. Okay, so this video, we're going to teach you how to talk to any woman, anytime, anywhere, without coming across as some creepy old dude or weirdo pickup artist. Okay, mistake number one is using lame opening lines, questions like, hey, how's your night going? Or, hey, what are you up to tonight? Approaching women with questions like these is just so useless and what pretty much every guy does. So how do I know this? Well, I'm a catwalk model and I'm the boss of a team of beautiful female dating coaches who've been on dates and giving feedback to our clients for 20 years now. So since 2006. So, okay, when you start trying to talk to a beautiful woman by asking her, how's your night going? Or what are you up to tonight? You're basically just not giving her much of an opportunity to give you anything useful to trigger a great conversation. So what you need to do is use more open-ended questions and just give a greater expanse of time for her to work with, right? So, if you're just asking, how's your night going, referring to that singular night, it's very unlikely that you're going to get something of high value. You're not giving her much to work with. You basically just put her at a stalemate within the first 2 to 3 seconds. So ideally, you want to be getting her talking about something she loves, something she really, really wants to be talking about, potentially something she's really passionate about, one of her biggest hobbies and interests. And by doing that, you do need to ask your opening question and give her a bit more of an expansive time, whether that be at least a weekend or even like a few months or something like that, even a season. To get her talking about something she really wants to. And then she's invested in the conversation straight away and she's not just trying to run away. Hey, James.
Hey, Tess. Great start.
Yeah.
So the most valuable thing you guys can do for yourself is to ask us your questions. What questions do you have the subject about? How to approach girls when you're over 40, over 50, over 60. Hit us with these. We'll be sprinkling them throughout. But yeah, the most value we get, the biggest spikes in the YouTube graph is when you guys tell us what's holding you back. We're very good at coaching our clients, but coaching a YouTube audience, we just want to help you. We're obviously devoting the time. That's a shocker. We'll get on to some more of the 7 deadly mistakes. Do you come here often? Tess, what does that feel like when a pretty girl like you gets hit with that nonsense?
This is just so cliche. It's do you come here often? What am I going to say? I'm either going to say yes or I'm going to say no. Has that given you much to work with? No, it hasn't. And it's not, you're not getting me excited about talking to you, right? So the first impression is super, super important. So you need to make an impact early. Boring chit chat stuff like, oh, so do you come here often? So cliche, so boring. She's like, yeah, I've been here a few times or whatever. She's not getting excited, right? I feel like that's just something that's been in movies that people have picked up on and think it's just the easiest thing to ask, but there's just no value that you get out of that.
Fantastic. We might just swing back a tiny bit. How's your night going? What are you up to tonight? If I walk up to Tess and go, hey, how's your night going? What can she give me? She can just say like, good, go away, creepy old man, or it's okay, or what are you talking to me for? You're not giving the girl any sort of a chance to demonstrate who she is or give you something. Everything we do is about seeking out commonalities. Equally, what are you up to tonight? Hey, hi, so what are you up to tonight? She's like, unless she's some like young 23-year-old airhead club hopping, trying to get with the DJ type girl, or some local football player, she's probably the women that I want and the women that most of you guys want, if you're over 40 and you follow Social Coach, they're probably not hanging out at bars and clubs, and that's a huge part of their self-esteem. So if you ask, what are you up to tonight? It's just like, oh, that's my girlfriend, that, you know, we're having drinks. You're just giving the girl nothing, and we're going to tell you in a few minutes exactly what you should do. This is a method I've been perfecting for over 20 years now, including perfecting it with myself. So yeah, as I think Tess said, you're not giving the girl any opportunity to give you something. And out of respect to a girl as beautiful as Tess, or any beautiful girl, you don't want to waste 5 or 10 minutes of their life in this boring chit chat. It's like, okay, I've come over to you because you're attractive. Let's find out if there's anything in common, and then we can either get to know each other, or I can go talk to some other girl as attractive as you. Okay, so come here often. Oh, yeah, nice bag. Jess, respond. Give me your, how does that hit for a girl as attractive as you?
Okay, if a guy's pointing out my handbag, either he's, I don't know, yeah, really into fashion, or he's just it's just so obviously an excuse to come and say hello, because it's not authentic. So immediately you're basically starting with a lie, or something. Yeah, you know, she's like, okay, well, you don't actually care about my bag. It's obvious that you could just want to talk to me. So it's really not worth saying those things unless it's extremely genuine. And that's very obvious to the woman.
Okay, so nice outfit. I love your top. I love your earrings. Just how does that land? Probably similar, but just give the guys an idea.
It lands like, okay, this guy's been checking me out, or he's judging me based on my appearance. Either, you know, if you say nice dress or something, what that sounds like is nice body. Or yeah, same with the jewelry, etc. Oh, I really like your earrings. It's like, how close do you have to be to get a good look at someone's earrings? You know, yeah. How could you decide that you like my earrings from a distance? I don't even know you. It's just, yeah, it's just obvious that it's a reason to come and say hello that's not genuine. It's a lie.
That's going to be the case there could be a girl who's so stylish and you've got an interest in style yourself where it can work. Like one time a model walked by in LA and I was on a boot camp. And I said, wow, big bag. Are you going away for the weekend? Thinking she had a boyfriend. She was going to go see him after. And she's like, oh, no. And she gave me this story. I did it very confidently. And I straight away, as soon as I got the conversation going, swapped to, hey, how you doing? I'm James. I think I even started with, hey, how you doing? I'm James. And then I swapped into, that's a huge bag. You going, and I made some joke about that. Okay, so what do you do for work? How does that hit, Tess? You're out at a party or a bar or even at a bookstore or shopping or the gym. Some guy comes and sort of leads with, oh, hey, what do you do for work? How's that go? If that comes in the first minute or two of the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, okay, this isn't true for every single woman, but most women, I don't think work is the most sexy topic in general. Like, we don't love work to the point where we want to be talking about it when we're having our time off on the weekends, or, you know, when we're socializing with friends, etc. Usually it's about getting away from work. So yeah, not always the most positive topic to begin with. And I think sometimes women will bring up work on their own accord, and if she sounds really excited and has a lot of energy to talk about, you know, something exciting that's happening at work, or she's starting her own business and she's really passionate about it, awesome. Those are definitely signs that that's a great topic to explore. But if you're just like, oh yeah, so what do you do for work? And she's like, yeah, I work in admin, or I work in hospitality, or whatever she does. It's not really it's not really something, it's not going to be something valuable. It's not something she's passionate about. It's not something she loves. And again, it's just that boring chit chat where you're not actually making an impact and building strong rapport.
So much of this gets back to female psychology. Women aren't as work obsessed by men. According to Jordan Peterson, there might be 10 or 20% that are. So especially if you're a successful guy, we like to talk about work. So it's such a big part of our self-worth. But for women, it's not. They go out to the party or they go out to the shopping center or the gym to forget about work in most cases. So we'll just go through a few more. Just pick a few to react to. Oh, so how do you like the music tonight? What are you drinking? Okay, we'll do those two. No, nice vibe tonight, or cool club. Just what? Love this bookstore. Love this shopping center, or something. When a guy comes up to you and he starts with something like that, how does that land for a girl anywhere near as attractive as you?
Yeah, I think that one's not as bad as the other. Like, how do you like the music? Yeah, it's just again, she can say I like it or I don't like it. Or yeah, it's not bad. You're not actually getting something of value straight away. You kind of have to follow on with something that's going to get more information out of her. Like, I don't know. Okay, well, what kind of music do you like then if you don't like this? Oh, cool. Yeah, I like it. If she says yes, and it's like, cool, I like the music here too. Where do you go from there? What do you like about it? I guess that's not a bad question. Yeah, again, it's just not, it's not the strongest start, right? But yeah, I think that one's a little bit better because, you know, pointing out a bit of commonality around your surroundings. So that one's, yeah, not as bad as the other ones.
Yeah, we think they're terrible, but relative to what the average guy does, there's much worse. Like, oh, so I noticed you from across the room and I wanted to come and say hi. Or worse, I was just on my way out, but I wanted to come by and meet you. Or just wanted to tell you how cute I think you are, or beautiful. Pretty girl, expert coach, boss of a bunch of models who, when guys do this to them.
Okay, where do I start?
If Jackie was here for this, Tess is amazing. If Jackie was here, she'd unload with the most vicious rant you could ever imagine. Try to channel your inner Jackie and just sleazy guy looking at my boobs. Go.
Yeah. Okay, so I think you said I'm just about to leave. I was just about to leave, but I had to come and meet you.
From across the room and wanted to come say hi. Okay,
I noticed you from across the room and I just had to come and say hi. What that says is I've been checking you out from a distance. That's creepy. That's a bit creepy. You don't want to give away that you've kind of been watching her. It kind of makes her feel uneasy and kind of preyed upon. And yeah, she'd automatically have a little bit of a barrier up there, right? So if you've actually created eye contact with her and there's been a little bit of sexual tension there, or, you know, and she's shown signals that she actually wants to be approached, that's completely different. And you don't, in that scenario, you don't have to say, hey, I noticed you from across the room and I wanted to say hi. It's obvious that you've noticed her because she's noticed that you've noticed each other. So you don't need to say that. You don't need to make it obvious that you've just been ogling her from across the room. Again, that'll just make her have a barrier up. She's like, who's this guy who's been checking me out?
That's right. I might just jump in before we get to the next one. Okay, Social Coach is designed to get you the most attractive, the most wonderful, the most sane women we can possibly get you. You can use our techniques to go out and sleep with 50 or 80 girls in a year. Many of our clients have, but we're not really in this market anymore. We're coaching guys over 40, over 50, over 65. We get some guys who've been through a horrible divorce who still want to do this, but most of our clients may be looking to have some fun, get some experience, and meet someone special to grow old with. So there's a big difference between how you pick up average girls or below average girls and your Tessas and your beautiful girls and the girls that you actually want to spend time with. So if a girl who worked as a catwalk model when she's young, or even a girl who knows she's in the top 20% of most attractive women, if you start off by saying, I noticed you from across the room, let alone you're cute, you're beautiful, it's just like, what am I, some sex object to you? That's what you're saying. So if I walk up to Tess, particularly when I'm 20 years older than her, nearly, and go, oh, so yeah, I noticed you from across the room, and you should come and say hi. What goes through her mind, subtitles on the movie, if you like, is creepy old big-nosed weird dude checking me out. Go away. And that's it, because women are far more psychologically aware than men by like a factor of 10 or 20. Tess, okay, if you just said, hey, I wanted to come say hi, that's pretty good, particularly if there's a handshake and then introduce yourself. But as soon as you say, I noticed you, I mean, again, if you want to sleep with lots of very unattractive average or below average girls, try this. But if you actually want to get quality women, don't, particularly if they're quite attractive. Okay, Tess, I was on my way out, but just wanted to come and meet you.
Yeah.
Explain.
Okay, so you basically just told her that you've stopped your plans. You had plans to do whatever you were doing, leave the venue, and you have decided to change your plans for her. You've given her all of the power straight away. You're putting her on a pedestal and telling her about it. So immediately she's going to be like, oh, okay, well, great. So who are you? I've got all the power. I'll, and I'm going to use it. You're not coming, that doesn't make you seem cool or charismatic in any way. It makes you seem kind of desperate and like you're already pining for her when you don't know anything about her, right? Again, it's so superficial. It's so appearance-based, right? The fact that you would approach a woman and start to talk to her anyway, it's pretty much implied that there's something about her that you like, probably the way she looks, but you don't have to overtly say that. She knows that from you just saying hello. So don't feel the need to say that, because I think that the next one you said, James, was, I just wanted to tell you I think you're cute or beautiful. A beautiful woman probably hears that every single day of her life, and it actually becomes the most meaningless thing for her to hear, because everyone says it, it's all they see, and all she really wants is for people to see beyond that. So it's almost like an insult when you come up to me like, wow, you're so beautiful, I had to tell you you're beautiful. She's like, cool. Yeah, and that's all anyone ever sees, right? So you really need to, what you really want to do is connect with what's behind that. How does she value herself? Find out her unique skills, her unique talent, or her unique interests. And her is going to think, wow. Oh. That seems better. Can you guys hear me? Can you just say yes in the chat if you can hear me? Seems like we're all good. Okay. Yeah, so as I was saying, find out about her unique skill set, values, interests, and compliment her on that, okay? And she's really going to feel seen when you do that.
That's great, Tess. Sorry, I just heard, I forgot to actually put my internet in. It should work. I might, if I just flick off, I don't know if that is your internet, Tess, or my internet. If I flick off for a second, I'm coming straight back. I'm just swapping internet to another one. Apologies for that. So yeah, we've gone through that. Now we're going to tell you what you should do. This is some serious social coach magic. I think it's the first time I've taught it outside of a paid event. So those of you guys on, please do us a huge favor and share your occupation, if you can, your age. And have we asked for city? I think we've asked for city. They're really good metrics, because coaching guys off YouTube and coaching guys that we actually meet and go on dates with Tess and come to our boot camps, that's a very different sport. So we want to get a feel for who you are. So age, city, and occupation, if you feel comfortable with that, that would be wonderful for us. So social coach magic. I've lost my banners. Tess, can you banner me up, please? Oh, we had a great question come through, I think, from someone, Martin or someone. So we'll get to your question in just a second. Hammers with question. Magic Trojan horse questions. I've had the most extreme compliments about that. It's so different to anything I've seen on YouTube or anywhere. It's tested on thousands of students and hundreds of thousands of women. And certainly in Australia, I see everyone copying me. I don't know about the States. Okay, I was doing a boot camp at a beautiful bar in Sydney called the Opera Bar. There was my main Sydney competitor there. He had 4 students with him. I said hello to him. I had 16. There was a guy who was on his boot camp who said he didn't want to do mine because he thought it was too expensive, and he did the cheaper one instead. I happened to see him out doing day game when I was taking my guys to do day game. And I go, oh man, how'd last night go? And he goes, oh, it was absolutely terrible. There was just no girls to talk to. I just got brutally rejected over and over again. He was, above average looking, about 6'1" guy who's quite well presented. And I'm like, oh, really? Why? What happened? Weren't you guys at the Opera Bar? He's like, yeah, the girls were so mean. It was horrible. And I've seen this worldwide in New York and LA and London. Guys go up. I mean, the stuff we rehearsed with you is like some of the better pickup artist nonsense. And our clients, because they used the Trojan horse method, and because we taught them how to do seated approaches, not just annoy girls when they're running down the street, they were all in 30, 60, 90-minute sessions. One of my clients got laid, even though I tell them not to, because it's a big waste of time. So what is a Trojan horse question? It is a boring, seemingly boring, dull, getting to know you question that everyone expects. So if I walk up to Tess and go, hey, how you doing? We'll just rehearse it. Hey, how you doing? I'm James. What's your name?
Hey, James, I'm Tess.
Tess, good to meet you. So tell me what's the thing you're most looking forward to this weekend? Am I screaming out weirdo vibe or, predator, old, weird, gray-bearded, big-nosed, skinny dude? No, it's just like some guy is just saying hi, or what you got planned for the weekend. But what is the genius of what I just said? Please, everyone on here, answer, because I do this on my boot camps. If I provoke your brain and get you to think, then you remember it for the rest of time. Whereas if I don't, then you're just on a YouTube live going, that's a good idea, and you forget about it. So what is so genius about me walking up to a beautiful girl and going, hey, how you doing? I'm James. And she says, and then you go, so tell me about the best thing you got planned for the weekend, or the most interesting thing you got planned for the weekend, or what's the most fun thing you got up to in the last month? What is the genius of that? Adam Anderson, very good. Adam says open-ended questions. What else is so brilliant about that? I mean, this has been tested, not including the people who've copied me, thousands and thousands and thousands of times. What's the genius of that? Okay, YouTube's going to take like 10 minutes for the comment to come through. Oh, shit, sorry. I've screwed that one up again. Simon will get your question in a second. The genius is if I walk up to Tess and go, hello, if I walk up to Tess and go, hey, my name is James. Who are you, Tess? Tell me about your 3 favorite hobbies and interests. How would that land on a really hot girl? Tess, by the way, you're the really hot girl here, so it's up to you to answer.
Yeah. So it's just it's like an interview question. You've come up to her, you've introduced yourself, you're like, cool, now I'm interviewing you. Tell me your 3 favorite hobbies and interests. It's like you're at speed dating and you're just going through the rounds. It's not casual, it's not smooth. Look at the title of what we're giving you here, guys. It's a Trojan horse question. So think about what the example James gave you was. Hey, tell me about what you're most looking forward to this weekend. It's a casual, relatable question that's disguising something else. A few of you have said some interesting stuff here. Figure out her interests. You're showing interest in her and getting her to talk about herself. That's good. Voice says span of time. These are
Very
all
good voice.
good things. So this is what I mean. All of this stuff is within this one question. Adam says the word most, so that's great. You're getting her to talk about something she's most interested in. Here we go. You're asking her to reveal something personal about herself and interests. Yep, good. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. It gets them to think about what they are most passionate about. Well done, Adam. Well done. This is what we're talking about. So yeah, when you're asking what are you most looking forward to this weekend, or what's been the most fun thing you've done in the last couple of months, you're getting her to talk about something that she's really, really enjoyed, something that she's potentially really passionate about in the first question that you ask her. And when women are talking about something they love, something they're passionate about, they love talking about it and they won't shut up. So you just have to ask a few good questions once you elicit what that thing is, right?
That's great. Yeah, so the other thing, if you go up and you're actually quite explicit about what you want to talk about hobbies and interests, you're way better than everything else I've shown you and so much of stuff on YouTube. If you do go ask her, what are your favorite hobbies and interests? Or, I mean, the pickup artist one is, oh, so what do you do for fun? Or tell me your story, which is a bit aggressive. Back before the game was published and all these weird psychologically damaged people ran around in silly hats using these lines on girls, it might have been quite good. But since whatever it was, 2002, 2006, when that book was published, it's a complete nightmare. Just don't go anywhere near it. So what we do, again, we have a Trojan horse phatic question. So tell me about what you're most looking forward to this weekend. You're going up to a hot girl and essentially asking her about her hobbies and interests, but it's disguised Trojan horse as a boring getting to know you question. This is going to sound terribly conceited. This is fucking genius. I had an ex-student who helped me out in boot camps constantly. I think I taught it on one of my YouTube videos. He says, "You can't give that away." And there was one other thing that I included with it. He was furious at me for giving this stuff away for free because it was just so powerful for him. So everything about social coach, everything about finding someone you want to spend time with, or just finding someone for tonight. If you can establish commonalities, it's so much easier to talk, date, sleep with her. It's just crazy. So just quickly, we'll probably do a cheat sheet about this. Step one, hey, how you doing? I'm James. Intro with handshake if it's a place where you can just walk up and talk to a girl, like a bar, a party. Not too many of you guys are going to nightclubs, I wouldn't imagine. Or like the local gym, if it's a friendly gym, or a business conference. I've been meeting people at a business conference just going, hey, I'm James. What's your name? Just in the elevator or wherever I meet them, because there's what we call implied acceptance of socialization. So step one, handshake. If you want to do this in day game, you need to put a step ahead of the handshake, which we probably won't get into too much today because it's a bit more complicated. But yeah, it's basically whatever you observe something, or I just start with, hey, how you doing? And then I go into this formula. So intro handshake. And then you repeat her name. So she says, I'm Tess. You go, so Tess. Step two. Step three, tell me about. It's a command. It's not like, oh, you got anything good happening this weekend, pretty girl? Would you talk to me, please? I'm lonely. I'm sick of jerking off to porn. It's so needy. It's tell me. It's a command. It's an order. So Tess, tell me about. And then you're asking a feeling and emotion question, which we'll get to in a second. Tell me about the best thing, the most interesting thing, the most fun thing you've done. And then we give them a specific period of time, like the weekend or a month or 2 weeks or this year. This is really genius. I've been doing this stuff since 2004, trying to get me end in when I was pretty crap at this, which I've done quite a few times. But yeah, when I got into my own business and realized I had to start learning something about copywriting, I'm just teaching you basic David Ogilvy copywriting skills that I've applied to not being so lonely, getting dates, getting bit of fun in the bedroom and actually getting women I really wanted to spend my life with who've actually made a huge difference in my life. So that's it, the Trojan horse question. Shoot us your questions about the Trojan horse question. While you're shooting, Tess, you can just have a quick look at the questions. If any of you want to learn how to apply this in practical terms and completely and utterly change your life, where are we going? Yes, you can get this opportunity tomorrow and maybe Tuesday if I can push the buttons correctly, which is a struggle for me. So yeah, you can work with Tess and all these pretty girls. This is what your tomorrow can look like, sitting on YouTube with this beautiful, incredibly skilled woman changing your life. So what it would look like is you go on a date with this catwalk model, and the goal is to firstly identify and eliminate any mistakes you're making with women, the things that have held you back your whole life and will continue to hold you back if you don't get someone to call them out and fix them. If you know one out of the three things that are holding you back, I'd be astounded. You'd be sort of you'd be like 1 in 5 students would even know one of the three. Just by applying some of the skills we're giving you and actually practicing the phatic questions, the feeling opener questions, the Trojan horse questions in real time with Tess, that will change your life. You'll be able to approach girls you certainly couldn't now. And when you do get dates with girls, you'll, no bullshit, no exaggeration, you'll be like 5 or 10 times better than you are now just from this one session with Tess. And then you'll start to, relative average guy, master conversations around things to say. And the most important thing is you will leave with a custom dating plan written up by my head female coach, who's the boss of all these pretty girls, Tess, to help you completely change your life. You just need to apply. If you can just do a half-assed job of applying 1 and 2, it'll be brave new world for you. Guaranteed. I've been doing this for 20 years. And Tess is the best coach I've ever had. Okay, so we usually charge $1,495 for this, $1,495. We're selling a bunch on during COVID when there was nothing else to do. And we're getting guys flying from the US for it. US is going to be a huge part of the market. If you book tomorrow, you just click on a link that Tess will put up for you. I'll just probably have a quick chat with you to make sure you're not like a psychopath or a weirdo who's going to upset my number 1 employee and star. And then we'll book you in Monday or Tuesday. I'll just have a quick 10-minute chat with you. Then we'll book you in Monday or Tuesday. $29, usually $1,500. Change your life. I should work out the percentage discount on that. I think it's about 95%. Well, anyway, my maths isn't as good as it was when I was a young man. So yeah, highly recommend that. Guys watching the replay, just click the link below and you'll see how to work on your Trojan horse questions with Tess and perfect it so that you can live anywhere. I just saw a beautiful comment from Eric, really cool guy in San Diego. Another one of the Americans who's buying our program. So Eric, if you want us to love you, tell them how good it was. And I think you're going out with a model now, applying our stuff. He sent me pictures of a proper agency model. Love the work, man. Okay, let's get back. By the way, this one today is really for beginner, intermediate guys. This one today is really, really, really good. Tess, okay. The number 1 secret of getting women you don't deserve, no one can imagine you ever getting. Your friends go, what the freaking hell have you got on? Have you got a dick extension or have you just won $1 billion or something? The number 1 secret of doing that is the 75% plus rule. What is the 75% plus rule? Get this through your thick freaking head. Women love to talk about themselves. Beautiful younger women love to talk about themselves 10 times more than the average woman. Why, you may ask? See Tessa's smiling, knowing smile. No one ever listens to them. No one takes them seriously. They're constantly, beautiful women are constantly treated as objects of desire, social status, and tools to manipulate them. No one thinks about them. They only think about what they can get from them. Women, you think men, they walk over and start slobbering all over them and get scared and nervous and try to get, and the dudes like me try to get into their pants. True. Women are much worse. When a woman sees a beautiful woman, she's like, that's my like leap up the social status hierarchy. It's like me making friends with Elon Musk or Michael Jordan or something. It's just a woman making friends with a hot girl has just completely, utterly skyrocketed away up the social hierarchies, which is what most women are obsessed about. All their soap operas and books are about this. So, okay, you've got to get this through your thick head. I'm sorry, and whatever. I've been surrounded by models, like 50, 60, hired a bunch. There's the elite ones like Natalia, Val, Nevena, Jackie, Tess, who've been with me for like 15 years in some cases. I've watched them from 23 to 38. You've got to understand most beautiful women, if you actually get to know them, they're so lonely at their core. They're so lonely. And most of them have this glamorous act of everything's cool. I'm going to this party. I'm going to this party. I dated this high status guy. They've got this super cool Instagram where they're all over the world. But at their core, so many of them are very, very lonely. And not only have I hired them, I've dated a whole bunch too. 5 of the 6 best women in my life are or were models. So yeah, the number one thing pretty much all of them have is they're very lonely inside. Which means if you can just shut the fuck up, ask good questions, and listen to them, you've flown past guys 20 years younger. You've flown past, hot guys, tall guys, rich guys. How does this skinny, big nose, tiny mouth, shitty, fucking stressed out, horrible childhood teeth, hairy-assed, completely uncool, refused to read books or listen to music by anyone who's hasn't died 100 years ago. How have I had whatever luck I've had with women? Plus thousands of my clients who are average or moderately attractive. You got to get her to do 75% of the talking. It's the magic cheat code to date, sex, and an amazing girlfriend. And no guy ever does it. People are going off because they think of this rant. This is some of the most important stuff you'll ever hear in your life. You've got to have the skills to get women to do 75% more of the talking. You'll get longer conversations. You'll get more dates. You get less flakes. You get more sex. You get a girlfriend so amazing you can't even believe it if you combine it with touch, eye contact, body language. Tess, over to you. What do you think about this?
Absolutely. And this is why, linking back to that opener that we gave you, the Trojan horse opener, if you can get a woman talking about something she loves, this is going to be easy. This is going to be easy because she's going to love talking about this thing that she's passionate about, right? So all you have to do is ask some really good engaging questions, and it's easy for her to be doing 75% of the talking, right? When she's doing that much talking, she's invested in the conversation. She feels like, wow, this person wants to listen to me. They're asking engaging questions. They're listening. They want to know about me. They want to know what's like, they want to get to know me on a deeper level, right? And she thinks, oh, wow, that person was really interesting. I really enjoyed myself because she's been talking about herself all night, about the things she loves, right? So, yeah, James is completely right. I love what you said, James, about the beautiful women, people always want something from them. They don't actually care about them. And that is so true. That is so, so true. Men, women, it's the first thing they see is beauty. How can I use that to my advantage, or how can I get a piece of that, basically? It's really sad. So yeah, you're going to make a huge impact if you can get beyond that and actually connect with the woman, get her talking about the things she loves, and be really engaged with her interests and her values.
Yeah, I mean, the number of times I've connected with a beautiful woman just on the subject of how lonely she was. I hooked up with a girl who'd modeled, not high level, but beautiful girl, very intelligent, did law at a pretty prestigious university. I just asked her, what have you been proud of your life? And she goes, nothing. I said, you got a law degree, you work for a prestigious law firm. But it meant nothing to her because she didn't know whether she got the job because she's got great tits and a beautiful face, or because she was actually the best and everything that happened to her, she just got promoted and just life meant nothing because she didn't know, is this actually me, the person, or is that what people see from the outside? And then obviously at some point in their life, they're just thrown off this red carpet. I mean, the psychology of beautiful women, I think, is one of the most fascinating aspects of the entire human condition. I'm getting carried away there. And yeah, if you look at the great women of my life, like the love of my life, I mean, she was so bitterly lonely because everywhere she went, she was just this object. And like the third greatest woman of my life, she basically had like 2 friends, if that. And like the love of my life, she only really had one girlfriend in a long, long time. And then as soon as that girl got a boyfriend, she just dumped her. And unfortunately, the girl didn't understand. The reason the girl dumped her was because she didn't want her girlfriend didn't want her new boyfriend sitting just drooling at someone. A girl I dated took me to meet her friend. She's a gold digger. Her friend was a high-level gold digger, but her gold digger friend had a face like an angel. And I'm sitting with, an attractive girl looking at like, a proper agency model face, just going, wow. So you just can't get your mind around how lonely they are. So if you can use the tools we're giving you tonight and Tess can give you on Zoom, just to talk, just to listen, just listen. 2 ears, 1 mouth. It should be like 5 ears, 1 mouth. The less talking I do, the quicker I get laid. And the better girls I get. And I've got to constantly correct myself as well. Anyway, moving along. Hopefully I've hit that point hard enough. Okay. No PUA, dating coach, AI advice, bullshit. Tess, remind me, I put this topic of tonight, 6 dating tips to approach women without being creepy, into AI. I won't say which one, just in case they own this platform. It was creepy. It was 2006 pickup artist stuff, complete with the false time constraints and all this nonsense. The only thing they forgot was wear a furry hat. So yeah, before we do that, we might pay attention to some of our regulars. So let's see what's in the questions. Oh, we might answer a gamer question too. Oh, Rangers, I just saw this one. Love the comment. It reminds me of the game book back in my 20s in college. The world has moved on since then. Yeah, I mean, that was awful back when you were in college, but at least it got a few guys started. It's a great book, don't get me wrong. The guy's a phenomenal writer. But in terms of a self-help book, I think it was the worst one of all time. So, Tess, do you want to see what we're up to with the comments?
Yeah, thanks, guys. We've had a stream of questions coming through. We're here to help you. So, yeah, any questions about any of the content that's come up tonight, or even just your particular sticking points with women, chuck them in the chat. We're here to help you. We'll start from the beginning. Martin's asking, how do you vet a woman's interest in the first 30 seconds so you don't waste time?
I can take that if you want. A lot of it's about reading signals. Does she hold eye contact? If she's pointing towards you when you first meet her, does she stay? Like if a girl's showing interest, often like I remember this happened to me one time. There was a girl where I talked to her, then it was hard to talk to her. And I talked to her again, and immediately her posture went from that to and this gigantic set of double D's just sprouted up out of her top. Her body language will change. You'll often get a lot of the, preening. There's so many signals. It's not funny. We're going to briefly touch on reading signals later, which we do in some of our lives. So yeah, reading signals. How enthusiastic is she for the conversation? Having said that, reading signals is far more important than how enthusiastic she is for the conversation. Because I've had girls where I walk up and talk to them and they just freeze me out completely. But I read signals and I go, their eyes sort of widened when I came up, or they had this little sort of quick smile when I came up. So I read that and I knew they weren't rejecting me. They were just testing me to see if I was one of the 1 in 100 American Australian guys who'd persist. So that's a great question. Martin, if you could swing back to this when we talk about reading signals, we'll go in more detail. And Tess might do her patented reading signals demonstration, which gets the YouTube graphs going like that. Might get some other things going like that, but we won't talk about that in a G-rated environment. Sorry about my sense of humor. Okie dokie. Tess, next question. I've made you all shy and go red. I used to make redhead Monique, who you can see on my YouTube channel. I used to love making her face go the same color as her hair by saying something awful that she thought was funny but embarrassing. Anyway, let's go on.
Okay, so here we go. Martin, another question from Martin. How can you tell the difference between her being polite and her actually being interested? Okay, that's a really good question, Martin. Again, some of those signals that James was talking about, the preening, etc. Obviously, if she's just being polite, she's unlikely to start actually engaging with you as well and asking you questions back. So that's a good sign if she's asking you questions back, that she's actually wanting to get to know you as well. Continued signs as well. If she is holding eye contact, she's not trying to get away from you. She's not trying to she's not saying, oh, I need to go now, I'm going to go see my friends. But those are all signs that she's just being polite, saying hello. But if she's just being polite, she's probably not going to stick around, right? She's not just going to stick around and talk to you for, 10, 15, half an hour, whatever. She's just going to have a brief conversation with you and try to wrap it up, right? So, yeah, it's about her opening up to you, asking you questions back, all those the body language signs as well. James, do you have anything to add to that?
I think you've done quite a good job there. It's similar to the last question. So much of it's about reading signals, and it's like I think we'll cover this a bit. In 2026, women have a big danger sign over them if you don't know how to read signals. As I keep saying, of the course we give guys, like if you do a date with Tess, and then you want to work with us and Tess thinks you're cool to sort of have on a boot camp, and she wants to go on lots of Zoom dates with you and pass you on to all her employee models. Then we give you this course. The most popular thing by far is the reading signals one. And yeah, my regulars would have heard this, but I did an event where Monique, the redhead you can see on the YouTube channel, she did an incredible job of teaching reading signals, very similar to Tess. They're both modeled, so they're good at making all these faces and body poses. And then we dressed guys on a live event. We now do this over Zoom. And all these like short, like 5'2", 5'3", 54, full head of gray hair going, I'm getting more attention from women than I ever have in my entire life, simply because they were dressed very stylishly by Australian American standards, and they could actually see it for the first time. So many of you watching, you get a lot of attention, but you're just completely blind to it. But yeah, one huge favor you can do, if you want us to do 2 YouTube lives a week and put way more videos up on YouTube, and having looked at many of my competitors for marketing ideas, I can tell you, I think what Tess and I are doing is pretty special, particularly if you're over 40 and you don't want to date some idiot damaged bimbo like the pickup artist many of the dating coaches were probably leading you to. So if you can just, any good questions like Martin, if you could put these up when the video goes live, that would mean a huge difference. I can actually give you a very considered answer. And YouTube will love us, and we'll give you more of Tess and I, and potentially some of Val and Coda and Tess and not Tess and who have I forgotten? Andy and Michael and the rest of the team. Okie dokie. We'll do 1 or 2 more questions or comments, and we'll get on to things you shouldn't do.
Cool. Okay, so what are the red light locations where an approach is always considered creepy? There aren't too many of them. I would say like topless woman on a beach, she's probably going to feel quite exposed just for the fact that she's not wearing any clothes. So that can, she might have a barrier up no matter what if a guy comes to speak to her.
I might push back on that.
Oh, what do you... Okay, so James doesn't think that's...
This isn't for YouTube. This is for my star students, no one else. I had 2 bi girlfriends. They always used to be topless on the beach. Ladies who've got good gear, who've got their gear out on the beach, tend to be a wee bit horny and maybe a wee bit moist down there. So they can be particularly up for a confident man who can approach them in a very gentlemanly manner and is like world-class at reading signals. I mean world-class. You could end up on, what's the Australian TV show I've never watched? The Lifeguards Annoy Me. Bondi Rescue. You might end up on Bondi Rescue going into a paddy wagon if you do that badly. But if you do it well, it can. I've only had one, but I've had one topless girl back to my apartment rather quickly. So again, it gets back to me reading signals and sending signals. But yeah, for everyone watching on YouTube, Tess is right. Don't approach topless women. I was going to say at her mum's funeral when she's crying her eyes out, you don't probably go up, put your arm around her as a total stranger and, start doing all the Kino escalation, touch escalation stuff. Where else? I don't think there's really anywhere that's that out of line. Depending on your skill level, if you see some girl in a suit who's storming through the central business district, stuck to her phone, stressed to the eyeballs, don't be a pickup artist and just annoy her and think you're an alpha male for stopping her. I mean, a bunch of ex-girlfriends of mine and probably my female coaches, they will intentionally wear earbuds just so guys don't bother them. They don't just have them on. It's just a sign that girls don't have them on. Quite a few of my ex-girlfriends, they used to wear like engagement rings, even though they certainly weren't engaged, just to get rid of dorky guys. So again, for the YouTube audience, the earbuds is probably don't try to break through them unless you've got some skill. But for my clients, yeah, it's easy. I mean, you will get the odd bad reaction, but that's just life. Great questions. Any comments we should put up before we get on to the next point? Thanks for the questions tonight, guys. These are really welcomed.
Yeah. Let's have a look. We did have some interesting one. Sorry, just.
No trouble. I'll get on to the next one. We'll swing back to it unless you can do it quick.
Okay, yeah, there was an interesting one from Rangers. Welcome, Rangers, who says people do realize that women now do the approaching, right?
Comment of the night. Well done.
He says all these singles mixes, both in the US, China, etc., where few to no men show up, but hundreds or thousands of women come, is evidence that women now got to do the approaching because men are opting out.
That's 100% true. So many men are too scared. They're too rejected. They've been too humiliated. They think they're not 6'4" and rich and have a Ferrari and no woman's ever going to want them. I might just touch on that quickly. That's such a great comment. And a lot of my friends do this, and I tell them, you're full of shit. There's this perception because on dating apps or on social media, the tall, handsome guys who flaunt a lot of money have almost celebrity level access to women. It doesn't mean they're closed. A lot of these girls just go in their boats and don't touch them and then keep screwing their yoga teacher or something. But yeah, in terms of access to women, the guys who have the metrics of tall, handsome, and can demonstrate wealth, whether real or not, they will have access like never, ever before without any actual fame. This is 100% true. But a lot of it's like a narrative fallacy. A lot of guys take this true story online and then they apply it to the real world, where in the real world, it's your skill. It's your skill. It's your skill. It's the connection you have that determines your success. Tess and several other of my female coaches, Tess does a very good job, talk about how they're actually repulsed by most rich guys in terms of a relationship because he'll be a shithouse dad. He's never there. He's going to be stressed out the whole time. He's never going to go camping with her or go for a surfing trip because he's going to cancel at the last minute. This is the reality for a girl of dating a really busy guy. It's like, sorry, honey, there's money involved, or sorry, honey, my best client needs me. And it's like, it's a very unsatisfactory relationship for any girl with options. So a lot of high-level women have revolted against the sort of archetypal, busy, successful, handsome guy. And I mean, a lot of the red pill guys go, you're full of shit, you're a blue pill, beta male, wanker, or whatever you're going to call me. But it's true. It's true. You guys talk to OnlyFans girls and influencers with large followings and large plastic lips and large plastic chests, assuming they're the sort of women every man wants. Large plastic bums in some cases. I mean, can you imagine anything more ridiculous? So yeah, it's true. So many men have opted out, but it's like all our Christmases have come at once. It's so fun. I'm pretty much 55. Look at me. It's so easy, even with women 20 to 30 years younger than me. It's just so easy. It's because of what Rangers just said. Every guy's checked out. Most of the high-status guys are too terrified of a Me Too charge, so they're using seeking arrangement, or they're using paid escorts. It's heaven, guys. It's all our Christmases have come at once. But book a date with Tess. The link will be below. It's link in the chat. Just book a date with Tess. Do some of the shit she says. You've no idea how easy it is. It's like World War II. A friend of mine, he went to somewhere in Serbia, I think. This would have been early 2000s when, like, I can't remember the exact stats, like 9 out of 10 the men had been died or maimed in the war. And there was like 14, 15 women for every guy. It's like we just finished a war now, because most of the guys have been wounded by Me Too or social media or some toxic ultra-feminist women. Anyway, hopefully you guys appreciate my rants. It's how passionate I am about how easy you can get results if you've got half a clue what you're doing these days. Great comment. We've got to come up with some prize for maybe the best 3 comments of the night. So we'll brainstorm that in a sec, Tess. Actually, the best comment of the night can do the Zoom date with Tess for free. So how's that for one? You need to pay the $29. It's a bargain. So Rangers, we'll see if you get beaten. Competition always spurs men on. Competition always spurs women on, but they're sort of going after, they're competing for men. We're competing for the life to get the women. Human psychology in 10 seconds. Okie dokie, no PUA dating coach bullshit, which is all over YouTube. It's leached into popular culture. So many people just go to marketing courses, and then they look at David D'Angelo and The Game and the people with the big channels, and it's just people copying the same nonsense ever since The Game was released. But the problem is some people are giving good advice mixed in with terrible advice. I have a real bee in my bonnet on this situation, because I got in and I started running my business, and I trusted people with big followings who spoke on stages who had no freaking idea what they were doing in terms of being a business coach. And that cost me the chance to serve millions of men, not just thousands. It cost me a hell of a lot of money and the greatest life in the world. I went through problems simply because I went to the wrong business coaches. So many of you guys, you're looking at people with big followings going, oh, this must be good because they've got more than 1 million people watching them. Oftentimes they're not. I don't know if there's an inverse correlation between how good the advice is and how big the following is, but there certainly is in many cases with health advice, and I think there might be with dating advice. Sorry for the guys who aren't ex-finance and love stats, like jerk off to stats. Like I may have done it once or twice in my life. That was a joke. I've never, ever stuck a statistics book together in my life. Okay, so no PUA bullshit. I think I shared that. Yeah, okay, so what you avoid, no teasing. Tess, if I walked up and said, hey, how you doing? You look like a bad girl. How would that land for you?
Why are you making that judgment of me when you actually don't know anything about me? And
because you're wearing all black, you just look like a bad girl to me. You're naughty. You always get in trouble as a kid, weren't you?
No.
This is what guys teach. And we've had some really cool guys who came on to do the Zoom call with Tess. They started off with, I'll leave it for a second. It was one of our favorites ever. Negs, you start talking to Tess. Your nose wiggles when you talk. How would that land for you?
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. I think it's like pointing out something about her appearance that's, it's just so superficial. It's so superficial. It's not, you're not actually connecting with her on a deeper level. There's no authentic connection. It's just so superficial.
It's a performance. Tess isn't familiar with, I haven't really taught her about negs because we don't teach it. A neg is where you walk up to a girl and you give her a backhanded compliment that supposedly brings her value down, because all women have tremendous value more than any man, even Elon Musk and Leonardo DiCaprio. And by putting her down, it brings your value up. That's the theory behind negs. So if I walk up to you and talk to you and say your nose wiggles when you talk, it supposedly brings your value down. It's a complete lie. There's no truth to it. But this is literally what they were teaching. You see the good you're doing in the world by doing this, Tess? No forced banter. We talked about direct approaches before, where it's like, oh, I just saw you from over there. I really couldn't go on living my life without kicking myself if I didn't come and tell you how beautiful you were. Look at that smile. My God. Even though she's an attractive girl and she's got an amazing smile, how does that land for you?
Yeah, again, that one's just about putting her on a pedestal. It's all about her appearance. You're like, oh wow, you're so beautiful. I value you so highly on that alone. So yeah, again, a beautiful woman, it's like, great. That's the last thing she wants to be valued on, because she knows that everyone values that about her. Okay. And generally speaking, if she's a secure person with self-esteem, her value isn't solely based on the way she looks. If you can connect with what's beyond that, that's going to be where you're standing out from all other men.
Two things there. The girls who are pretty attractive, who a huge amount of their self-worth, potentially all their net worth, they're the women who turn into Amber Heard. They're the women who go toxic. They're the women whose breasts start to go down south, or their ass doesn't look like it was when they were 22. They're the women who go super toxic on you. Whereas the women who have a lot of self-respect for other things, they tend to be much more dateable. And funnily enough, the coaches I've kept the longest and used the most, who are the best, like Tess, Natalia, Val, Kota, they've got a lot more going for them than just the fact that most guys desperately want to bang them. Whereas the ones where their self-worth of themselves, as most guys desperately wanted to bang them, they got in some serious trouble in their 30s psychologically, to put it mildly. Direct approach is a pickup artist term for you start by commenting on a girl's appearance, calling her beautiful. Okay, all this pickup artist stuff that we just went through, this is bad for anyone, but if you're not particularly good at reading signals, which is 95% of men, probably 98, it's terrible in 2026. You might get in real trouble. The other thing, there was some people in the comments who had some level of familiarity with the whole pickup artist, Neil Strauss, Mystery, David D'Angelo, Pickup 101, the early pickup artists. The funny thing that you learn about sort of nearly all, the RSD guy, the funny thing you learn about all of these guys is that if you met them, you'd think they were gay. You would seriously think they were gay. And one of the pickup artist, dating coach industry conspiracy theories is Mystery actually is gay, and he just became a pickup artist to hide his shame at being a gay guy. This is hearsay from someone who knows Mystery very well. But yeah, if you're 6'6" and pretty good looking, you don't need to dress up like a freak show to attract the attention of women. That's like the most basic thing of all time. But he did. Maybe he'd like to dress up Mardi Gras style. Anyway, so okay. Well, one of the other ones. There's a lot of guys who teach cold approach, who try doing cold reads. So one of the most shocking ones we had from a guy, other than that was a really good guy, was some guy started his Zoom session with Tess, and he just goes, oh, hey, I saw you from over there, so thought I'd come meet you. I'm sensing there's some sort of goth vibe. What's going on there? Tess, just how did you react to that? She was wearing, it was in the middle of winter, she was wearing a high neck black sweater. I mean, you've got a bit of a goth vibe now because you're wearing black. So yeah, just explain to guys how awful this is and how great our stuff is.
Yeah, yeah, so he's just projecting what he perceives about me as the first thing he says to me. He's like, I've made a judgment on you. This is what it is. It's like, great. Why do I care about your opinion of me? I don't even know you. And yeah, you might cause her to feel the need to negate that and explain why you're wrong, but it's not putting her in an excited mood to talk to you. If anything, it's annoying. She's like, why do I have to prove myself to you now? Yeah, so she'll likely be trying to reject you straight away. She's like, no, I'm not a goth. Bye-bye.
Oh, Tess, did you put the link in the chat?
I did, yes.
Oh, sorry, I can't see it. Did you pin it?
I did, yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm kind of hopeless. Thanks for doing that. Yes, if anyone wants to not do cold reads and direct approaches and tell girls their nose wiggles when they talk or tease them or call them a bad girl, book a date with Tess down below. Any questions about this stuff? Any of you watching, feel free to push back on anything Tess says or anything I say. We obviously don't accept what we say as gospel. Push back. Debate us if you want. We're more than happy to do that. We want our stuff tested. Okie dokie. So next up, do you want to do a few more comments or questions?
Sure. Well, yeah, we've had a few come through, so I think we need to keep on top of these, James. So Steve says, how do you handle a rejection in public so that neither of you feels embarrassed?
I'll handle that, Tess, because I'm the man. Hot young girls don't really understand rejection that well. Not in the way men do. Okay, firstly, it's a part of life. Secondly, if you book a date with Tess in the link down below, or you come to enough of our YouTube lives and try to apply this, you hardly ever get rejected. I honestly swear to God, can't remember the last time I got rejected. And, the average boot camp, I'll always do the first approach twice. And I'll probably do 2 or 3 more on each night, and I'll start long interactions. And I'm always going up to hottest girls and the biggest group of girls. I just really don't get rejected that much. I'm trying to think the last time I did. I remember the last time I get rejected, and that's because I basically chased down a girl with this insanely good body and just ran. It was a stupid approach. It turned out she had this incredible body and the worst teeth you've ever seen. It was really funny. It's just part of the deal. It's like if you start boxing, how does it feel the first time you get hit? It hurts. It really hurts. So yeah, how do you handle it? What I do is if I walk up to Tess and I'll try one. I'll just come up with a line. Hey, how you doing? I just noticed some of your facial features. I kind of study nutrition and geek out on it. Tell me, did you have a really good diet when you were young? Just go, no, fuck off, loser, or something. Tell me, I'm really into nutrition, and I'm just wondering, did your mum give you a really good diet when you were young?
No, she didn't.
You've got to be more harsh, Tess. I've got to train Tess to be more harsh. like just annoying prick. She can do, but I didn't put the high gear on. So, okay. Hey, I just saw you from across there. I'm really curious. I'm really into nutrition and how it affects people's appearance. Did your mum, did she feed you like really healthy food when you were young?
No, she didn't. And I'm busy with my girlfriend. So can you kind of leave us alone? Thank you.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Anyway, I just hope you have a great day. I didn't read your signals too well. Bye. So it's just like, okay, sorry to interrupt you. And then make her feel like a bit of a prick for rejecting me so harsh, and then wish her a nice day. If she's an absolute, just, whatever, the worst human being of all time, and just go, sorry to interrupt you then. I'll let you get on with your day. But you got to leave with lots of positive energy. I've been rejected, particularly when I'm teaching boot camps. There's nervous guys walking around and the girls are a bit on guard. I've been rejected pretty harshly sometimes. I just go, oh, so sorry to interrupt you. I didn't realize you're with your friends. I didn't read the signals very well. Maybe catch you some other time. And I often touch them on the shoulder and look them straight in the eyes. A lot of these girls come and hang out with me in more than one or two occasions. It's ended up in a bit of the old in out from a Kubrick movie. Martin, one of my film buff clients, will understand that reference. Ludwig van. If anyone knows what the hell I'm talking about, apart from Martin, just put that in the comments. Ludwig van. Beethoven I'm talking about. Okay, so let's get on. Questions?
Yeah.
Anyway, in short, Steve, just learn the skills and you'll get very, very little rejection. Lots of sex.
Yeah. But what James said was completely right. You've got to don't let it phase you. Just be polite. Don't get defensive. Don't be reactive. And just say, cool, yeah, have a good night. Maybe I'll see you around. Keep it open, because oftentimes she'll make her feel bad and she'll be like, oh, hey, sorry, I was rude to you earlier, or whatever. Okay, let's move on.
In 2026, don't fight back in any way and call her a bitch or whatever, because that could go really pear-shaped, even if she really is.
Okay.
Just while the comments coming up, I've studied it for 20 years and I've listened to my clients. Women who reject men harshly for little or no reason are not good people. And I've got a good sample size of this. One of my favorite clients when I started coaching, he was a short, half Chinese, blue collar guy. He ended up dating this society girl from his state, who was like 2 inches taller than him, had huge boobs. Her parents had a holiday place in a place called Bunker Bay that was like $7 million. This is in the early 2000s. And she was a lovely, lovely, lovely person. She got given a $3 million house to live when she was studying, and he's just poor. Anyway, her best friend from elite private school basically hated men and was still a virgin in her mid-20s. And guys used to come up and approach this group because there's a bunch of hot girls in there. And the one who was still a virgin, who basically hated men, she would reject men so harshly. It was just unbelievable. My client, Clinton, used to hang out with him when she was doing this. She's just a horrible person. If this story was valuable to you, another girl I hooked up with, an amazing set of boobs. She had, she was like one of those tiny, tiny little girls with absolutely perfect, like she wasn't a tiny 10. Her face was not a 10, but her body was a 10. She had an average face. But yeah, she had a friend who was nowhere near as attractive as her. Whenever girls came up to talk to this girl, Shan, her friend had just cut them down brutally if they weren't super confident. And yeah, it turned out she was just a really yucky person. After I hooked up with this girl a few times, she told me, she wasn't the nicest person, but they've been friends a long time. Okay, let's get on to the next comment, Tess.
Yes. Where are we at? Let's have a look. Sorry, I've just lost a track here. Okay, Ralph, this is an interesting comment, a funny one. Listening to women for hours and remembering all of this stuff is probably one of a man's biggest challenges in life. So yeah, she's doing 75% of the talking. You've got to remember everything she's talking about. There's definitely a skill with listening. Listening is a very important skill in conversation. Very, very important. But there's also a skill with retaining information, because you don't have to necessarily retain every little detail. You want to retain the details that are important to her, right? Or something that is really, really interesting to you, like authentically interesting to you. So yeah, you can learn to kind of store those pieces of information to use. Or there's some other techniques as well, if you need help with that. You know, you can always take a break, go to the bathroom, write some notes, and then you've got something to refer to later. Did you want to add to that, James?
Yeah, we've got a technique called bonus information, which is pretty advanced. We might do it another YouTube live, but yeah, I don't find that a problem at all. To sort of have a bullet point system in my head. If you want to go deep into that, then book a session with Tess in the link. I don't think listening to women for hours and hours, remembering all this stuff, is difficult. I mean, anyway, because so much of my method is I go after girls I really want. Or if they were ugly, I'd still want to be friends with them because we've got so much in common. That's one of my, if you like, superpowers. Yeah, so I'm not trying to bang dumb, silly girls unless they're models for my ego. But even then, I haven't done it for, what am I, 54 now? I haven't done that for at least 10 years. I sort of did one in Bali, but she was really hot and she really liked me, so it was kind of easy. And she had fake boobs. Now, every few years, I want to sleep with some girl with fake boobs just to see if they get any better. But it's marginal improvement. Scientists have discovered a way to do perfect fake boobs for women, but they won't do it because it's a bad business model versus just sticking some silicone in there and then giving them an upgrade every 5 years. That's a much better business model than actually using the woman's own breast tissue and making it better. I'm sure with Elon Musk rocket ships and AI, they've figured out how to do good fake boobs that you can't tell are fake, but they don't release them to the public. Okay, next question.
Okay, there's a comment from Liquid Fire PUA. Your style is basically juggler's conversational jujitsu.
Yeah, you know your pickup artist history. I worked for Juggler for a while. He deserves credit for a bunch of things. It was the only method that wasn't complete weirdo. Just quietly, I had 73 guys write on the forum about how amazing my boot camps were. And I was just working in Australia. So I was doing like 12 a year or something. And the American guys who were working nearly every week, the highest had 25, next had 23, next had 21. And yeah, bit egotistical, but I managed to, in front of students and other instructors, I managed to, meet, date, and have sex. One of them became two of them became one of the great women of my life. In front of other students. And at that stage, I don't think that had happened anyone I knew of, and I knew the RSD guys as well. So to actually get a proper agency model in front of students and clients. So Juggler, he's definitely responsible for making the industry less weird. He brought some good stuff into it. Open-ended questions. I got that in my sales training. So, and the vacuum thing, he was teaching like some sales training method combined with improv acting. But yeah, that was quite revolutionary in the dating industry at the time. So he was definitely one of the best. I could gossip about many of them that I wouldn't probably do in public. But yeah, he's, in terms of his impact on a very sleazy, disgusting world, he's going to heaven for that as well, because he was the first one to talk any sense. But he didn't have any, in my view, he had no clue about how to actually turn a nice conversation into kissing and sex. And it was very weird. Liquefied PUA. Feel free to push back on anything. Simon saying, I remember following John Aylis. I haven't heard of him. Lance Mason. Yeah, Lance Mason was a very, very good businessman. But I wouldn't necessarily say there's an extremely good businessman. He was an ex-management consultant. Yeah, there was quite a few people pretty unhappy with his courses, but he created a really good cult. PUA just isn't mystery method. Fire back on that, Liquid Fire PUA. That's super interesting. Yeah, that's super interesting. I'd love to hear your feelings about that. I mean, when I think of PUA, I think of like, I suppose 2005 to 2010, which many really extended on probably another 5 years. So I think of the big players in terms of David D'Angelo, Neil Strauss, Mystery, obviously, who's the founder of basically everything. And then, I mean, obviously, there's a Ross Jeffries guy who was very NLP. And, but yeah, just fill me in on anything because I've been based in Australia a lot of that time. Juggler didn't want me in America. He moved me back to Australia for reasons I won't go into now, which was pretty sad. He would only let me work in Australia. Gents learn to dance, it works. If you can show a woman a good time while dancing, she'll probably come and ask you for more later. That's 100% right. We tell all our clients that, but you've got to do what's real. Yes, you're 100% right. You've got to do what's real for you. Having said that, I went to salsa 3 times and got laid with an 18-year-old. This is a while ago. And she was wonderful. So yeah, it did work for me, but I'm just not a dancer guy. I can't dance. I don't want to dance. I don't like dancing. I don't like the music most people dance to because I listen to Tchaikovsky and Mahler and Beethoven and Schubert. So it's kind of hard to dance to the 1812 Overture or Piano Concerto No.1. Dum, 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 dum. Anyway, people are going to switch off in droves, me doing my Piano Concerto No.1 impersonation. How does this old dude get hot girls when this is the only things that appeal to him? Yeah, you're 100% right. Dancing is, and so many of our clients have used dancing as an inroads to threesomes and more results than they could ever get. Bit of a hot tip, avoid salsa because that's like pickup artist central. Just do anything but salsa because you'll be surrounded by some weird energy and some furry hats and whatever these guys are doing now. Some of them still do that silly little, what's those hats called? The pickup artist hat. I never wore a pickup artist hat. I'm the only one. I'd never peacocked in my life. I thought that was absurd. Can you imagine Daniel Craig, James Bond peacocking? So what do you think of my furry hat? Or Daniel Craig, James Bond negging. Hello, I'm Bond, James Bond. So your nose wiggles when you talk. Can you see that? Let alone Sean Connery. Can you imagine him doing that? Anyway, the people who know a bit about the pickup industry, feel free to call me a ridiculous old man or something. But yeah, I can't see Sean Connery telling a girl that her nose wiggles when she talks, unless it really was wiggling. Might wiggle when she comes. I'm just thinking through all the orgasms I've seen, wondering if there's any correlation there. Your nose wiggles when you come. Anyway, I'll shut up. Shut up, James. Eye contact, signs, etc., are all examples of pre-M2. You're gonna. I don't do the internet acronyms.
Me too. Pre-Me Too movement.
Oh, okay. Can you translate for me?
Like eye contact, signs, etc., are all examples of pre-Me Too movement, COVID women telling men they didn't need them, etc. Unless she approaches, speaks, shows romantic interest, etc., keep moving. So you're saying unless Rangers is saying unless she's done the approach, speaks and shows romantic interest, then keep moving. Okay. If you're relying on the women to do the approaching, think about it. These are women who are desperate. Women hate approaching. We traditionally expect men to do the approaching, and if you can stand out from the crowd, approach a woman confidently and charismatically, you're going to be so impressive to her when that's what she wants, right? But if you rely on her to approach you and show romantic interest, she's literally desperate. She's desperate. She's absolutely desperate. And what that does is it just makes you seem weak. She's just going to think you're pathetic. I don't know. I just think that also high quality women will always be spoiled for choice with men. So it's not going to be the high quality women who are approaching you. If it's going to be the desperate ones, right? So if you're relying on the desperate ones to be approaching you, you're not getting the top selection of women.
So this could be the longest rant in Social Coach YouTube live history. I didn't even know where to start. Push back, push back, push back. Guys, argue with me. I'm all for that. Humans are mammals. Our closest relatives are chimpanzees and dolphins. Pretty much every mammal I know of, many of us fight to the death for the chance to mate with a girl in heat. Dogs fight. I mean, dogs fighting at night in third world countries. Some of the fights are incredible. Those seals, I don't know what they're called, with the big tusks. They will murder another seal just to get a chance to mate with a woman. I really geek out on Darwin, like really geek out on Darwin. I'm really uncool. Again, a book from 1872 or whenever. Yeah, those, what do you call it? They grow these antelopes out of nowhere. Then they bash each other to the point of unconsciousness, even death, to get to mate with a woman. And white and Asian women in New York, LA, Sydney, London, Munich, Berlin, Stockholm, the Nordic countries especially, we've become so fucking pathetic that the women are now approaching us. No wonder they're bitchy and sad and vicious, and they can't wait to take us to family courts and clean us out, because they're dealing with the most pathetic creatures on the planet, which is the modern man. Now, there's reasons behind this and commercial interests changing the world and changing the media and changing culture for what I would argue are nefarious interests. Divide and conquer men and women. You've won. If you want to control people. But yeah, you got to be a man. I mean, you got to be a man. And being a man isn't having huge biceps or being a cage fighter. It's about being a man with women. It's about making shit happen. It's about being an entrepreneur, being a leader, taking charge of your life, shaping your own destiny, going after what you want, accepting when you get rejected. Like whatever success I've had, it's like, I grew up fucking poor and horrible childhood, so abusive. I was gonna succeed. I didn't know how I was going to do it or what would do it, but I was going to dig my way out of there. And I did that financially on a grand scale. I didn't work in most of my 30s. And then I had even worse problems with women. I just had to find a way to do it. And I went through all this nonsense. Women want men. If you want to really understand women at the highest level, read Ayn Rand. And yeah, they want the alpha male guy who doesn't matter how hard he gets hit, he just bounces back up and keeps trying and learns and does better. That's what makes women wet. Listen to the Soviet girls who went through gulags, Lenin, Bolshevik Revolution, Stalin. He killed nearly as many as Mao. I mean, the gulags made the Nazi concentration camps look pretty mild and a minor thing from my brief understanding of history, which anyone can push back on that. Yeah, Soviet women need a man. They don't care if he looks like Brad Pitt or what's his name, the world's top male model, David, whatever his name is. They need a man, and that's what they want. And if a hot girl is looking over at you, and it takes you like all your courage to walk up and just say hello to a girl, just walk 10 feet. Even if you get into a relationship with her, she'll be beating the living crap out of you. I coach test coaches, Val coaches, Jackie coach, so many successful, tall, handsome, wealthy guys. And they come to us after they've spent like 5 years in the family court going, I don't know how I didn't kill myself. That was the worst thing you could ever do to a human being, put them through the family court. Their wealth, their business, everything they've worked for, let alone their children, the thing I love most in the world, is being used by a tool to hit them over the head. Part of the reason the woman's doing that, yes, there is a 1% psychopath rate amongst women. Part of the reason the woman's doing that is she got the tall, handsome, rich guy, or the guy who looked like he's going to become rich, and he was so pathetic as a man that she just, fuck this, I'm going after this guy because he's so pathetic. Russian women, who I know a lot about, because three of the, well, at least Polish, 3 of the top 6 women of my life in terms of how much they meant to me, they were all Soviet. They think, Val, one of my female coaches, you can see on the YouTube channel, they think it's okay to savagely take advantage of and use a man because he doesn't get it. His mum and dad should have taught him this stuff. Val will say that to you even today. I mean, yeah, of course they take advantage of pathetic men. That's what they're there for. They should learn not to be pathetic, learn to be mans. So yeah, yeah, if you want any sort of happiness with women, particularly if you've got some cash, you've got to just take into your own hands, make shit happen, be a man, accept there's going to be rejection, learn skills, improve your skills. Anyway, think back to the antelopes bashing each other to death just to mate once, or the seals. I think they need to kill another seal or a bunch of seals to actually get a chance to mate. And we're too scared to walk over to some girl in a little short skirt and a black dress and go, "Hi, how you doing? I'm James." It's like, yeah, we have become, people are going to hate me for this, we have become so pathetic in our culture. And the women have become so inflated, crazy notions of everything. Anyway, rant over. If anyone, can everyone rate my rant? 1 out of 10 is, you're a fuckwit, shut up. And 10 out of 10 is, I agree with you, I'm tuning in for more of these. Rangers, I like you. Marla, the Resurrection Symphony. I wouldn't say it's my favorite of his, but yeah, I listen to it regularly. I'm going to update my Sennheisers and get a proper headphone amp. The only reason I upgraded my iPhone is to get the little USB-C thing so that I could hear better classical music. Rangers, taste in music. I love this guy. Okay, let's get back to questions. Now, I've ranted a bit. We'll get it back to delivering what we promised, because this one's been fun, more fun for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, we've got some
Maybe thanks to you, Ranger. You ask great questions and make great comments, then you provoke me into rants. Hopefully you're hearing enough of the beautiful one, not just the old dude who needs to wash his fucking hair. Anyway, I teach a lot about health. If you guys don't have a water filter on your shower, you should get a water filter on your tap first. But yeah, it's like I wash my hair and like 4 or 5 days later, it's all greasy again because the shampoo can't do its job without a proper water filter. So I've bought one. I've got to get around to putting it up. I sound like some woman. I've been dating and hanging out with too many models. Oh, my hair's all greasy. It's the shower filter's fault. You become the 5 people you spend the most time with, I guess. Anyway, let's go on to the next point. If you could remember, we're up to on the questions, and I'm going to figure out how to get back to my banners. Okay, ask woman-friendly questions. Tess, do you have the notes in front of you?
No.
Okay, I'll just get Tess started. Feelings and emotion, not facts and data. Feelings and emotion, not facts and data. Oh, my name's Monique. I'm a redheaded model. I work for Social Coach. I'm learning to ride a bike at age 24, and it's quite challenging as an adult, but I'm enjoying it massively. What's the diameter of your front wheel? Hi, my name's Tess. I'm a former catwalk model and I love surfing. I love surfing more than just about anything on earth. How tall is your surfboard? Tess, explain to the guys why that is profoundly, transcendentally stupid while I take away.
Okay. Just because she's passionate about doing that thing. It's not usually because she loves the equipment. It's more about the feeling she gets when she's doing this thing that she loves, right? The way women think is all around feelings, emotions, relationships, etc. So you really want to be able to tap into that. When I know that a lot of men are more analytically minded, and it's quite natural, habitual for you to be asking those sorts of questions. How long have you been doing that? What sort of conditions? I don't know, what sort of gear do you use, etc. These facts and data questions, which basically they're just so narrow. You get one piece of information. Okay, so I tell you my board is 6 foot long, right? Cool, great. What more can you get out of that? Okay, and what color is your board? It's like you're not really getting to the heart of why I actually enjoy that, what it is that's special about it. You're not getting any bonus information to keep the conversation going and flowing. So you need to ask open-ended questions where you get a lot of information, potentially a story. And when you ask feelings and emotions-based questions, You get a lot of that bonus information because you potentially get the story, but it also gives you the opportunity to go deeper beyond just the surface level, superficial stuff around, facts and data things. It's more around why this is something important to her based on her inner values, her, what makes her heart sing, what's really special to her in her life, what sort of meaning that gives to her in her life, right? So when you actually take the conversation down that road, going deeper, she's opening up to you more and more. She feels connected to you because she's sharing things that she doesn't just share with any person. It's not the average conversation. It actually becomes a really meaningful conversation to her. So it becomes memorable. And she feels like you've got connection. You're engaging with these things that are really meaningful to her, right? Immediately she's going to be thinking, wow, that was a great conversation. I really connected with that person, or that person was really connected with me in an authentic way. It's just going to make so much more of an impact, and it's going to make the conversation so much easier for you to continue.
Great. So I missed what Tess said. Feelings and emotion, not facts and data. Open-ended, not closed-ended. I'm saying these words. If you book a date with Tess, the link's in the chat, and actually learn these skills, they will completely, utterly change your freaking life. So much of your approach anxiety will go away. Your rejection rate will drop from "I'm not doing this again, it's too painful," to you'll be getting sex on the same day. The number of times I've met a girl in day game and taken her home and had sex with her. Some really attractive girls, one time a model, like a proper model. Just by doing feelings and emotion questions, open-ended questions, trying to talk less than 25% of the time. So ask women questions. Men are problem solvers. We set goals, we go after it. We fix things, we solve problems, we fight wars, we invent things. That's what we do. Women are emotional creatures. Look at the art that we love. It's all logic and reason and excitement, and with novels, it's heavily plotted. With women, it's just nonsensical feeling stuff with a fair bit of social intrigue. What's it called? There's a TV show called The Bold and the Beautiful. A female friend of mine when I was early 23, when I was about 23, who didn't sleep with me, bitch. She used to love this Bold and the Beautiful show, and I just used to bag her for watching it. Anyway, many, many years later, my mum somehow conned my dad, who would never watch anything that wasn't like PBS, ABC, into watching Bold and the Beautiful. So I was familiar with it from, I'm making these years up. I was familiar with it from 1996 through to whenever, 2010 or whatever, just roughly. So 15 years. And what had happened was, there was this tall, handsome guy with a square jaw. He looked like a freak show. There was a blonde girl that was really beautiful. She looked like a freak show from surgery. And there was a brunette girl who was really beautiful, and she looked like a marsh. She wasn't even a freak show. She wasn't even human. She had so much surgery. But 16 years roughly had gone by. It's the same freaking story. This guy runs a fashion company. There's a blonde girl who wants him, and she's conniving to get him off the brunette. And then she eventually gets him. And then for like 3 years, she's got him, and the blonde girl's conniving to get this guy back. And there's intrigue with the fashion empire. That was the story for 15 years. Most men I know can't watch like half an hour of it without getting bored shitless. Women are so different to men. Read their novels, look at their art. I mean, Pride and Prejudice, for anyone who reads books, one of the greatest books ever written, probably not that good. It's not as good as Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, or Flaubert or men, but it's one of the greatest books ever written, but nothing really happens. Just, she meets a guy, he seems conceited, a bit arrogant. She finds out he's just shy. That's the whole story. I mean, men can't be bothered with this shit. It's the most loved woman's book by women who have an IQ above 110 of all time. You've got to ask women-friendly questions. I've never seen anyone on YouTube talk about this. They may have. So yeah, you've got to ask woman-friendly questions. And this is one of the things Tess will be working on intensively on Zoom, because 90% of you will suck at it. If you're an engineer and you've got an IQ over 130, you basically need to get a lobotomy before you can do it properly, which is why we need to give our clients a bunch of Zoom sessions before they get the boot camp. Yeah, women are emotional creatures. You guys have to get this through your thick head. I'm sorry to be rude about this. Maybe the second most intelligent human being I've met in my entire life. And I'm totally aware that this is the normal distribution curve of men, and this is a normal distribution curve of women. There's lots of really stupid men. There's lots of really genius men, whereas women are much more in the middle. There's not many super smart ones, but there's not many super stupid ones. So yeah, probably the second most impressive person intellectually I've met in my life was literally a girlfriend of mine who was Soviet prodigy. And yeah, one time I was traveling with her, and I figured out the best mobile plan for her that was the most value for money, and she could text her parents and friends for the least amount of money. I was really proud of myself doing all this maths in my head. She couldn't give a flying fuck. She just wanted to plan, and she wanted to get on and hug me and go traveling with and walk around the city with me. So yeah, women just don't value all this stuff that men fuss over. Tess, do you want to say anything more on just quickly before I get onto this? This is true. Like 23 people witnessed this roughly on a boot camp between trainers, helpers, and students. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see a rather busty Australian model with about 100,000 Instagram followers. I literally made her cry, swimsuit model. I literally made her cry in front of 23, 25 people, just doing a demonstration on the boot camp where I asked her good, open-ended questions, feeling and emotion questions. I couldn't even believe it. She couldn't go on. She had to leave and stop because I'd touched her heart so profoundly with the questions. I did the same thing, I can't remember, a year or two later to Jackie. Now, because of the whole Harvey Weinstein fiasco and trying to run a business professionally, I never went down those paths. But if you make a girl cry with questions, which I haven't done in my regular dating life, I mean, you don't need to worry about being too old or not tall enough or not big enough dick or you got a hairy back. You've formed this bond with a girl that no other guy can come near. And yeah, I've spent more than a little bit of my professional life with a whole series of boobs rubbing up against me. I should probably edit this out of the replay. But yeah, it's just if you can connect with girls on that sort of level, it's like there's no competition. Are people interested in this? Yeah, basically with Nevna, I was just digging in. She profoundly misses the little village, or the small town she grew up in Croatia. And she just hates big cities like Sydney where she works because she makes good money modeling. And I just delved into that, and she just got so emotional. It was actually really touching. And funnily enough, it made me more sexually attracted to her. Not that I followed through on it though. Tess, do you want to add anything about feelings and emotion questions and woman-friendly questions? And go deep, go deep, go deep, go deep, go deep. Legs on the shoulders, pistoning in out a certain way, just targeting the G-spot. Just go deep. Women's friendly questions, go deep. That's me trying to be funny and probably failing. Tess, do you want to leave anything more about ask women-friendly questions?
No, I did talk about going deep. That means like getting to the more personal side of things, not just that superficial level, facts and data stuff or surface level stuff. It's more about getting to know who she is, not just what she does, right? But yeah, James, I think you covered that really well. And go deep, feelings, emotions, questions. You want to connect with her on an emotional level.
One of the YouTube videos I did with Jackie, find out what makes her heart sing and get her talking about it. Like everything you see on YouTube, that's probably as important as half of it, particularly if you want quality women. There's the Dan Blitzerian thing where you just create tons of social proof and get girls to bang you that way. That works, but it does not get high quality women. It often scares high quality women off. But if you just want to bang as many plastic-titted, plastic-lipped, plastic-faced girls as you can, yeah, go for it. But I'm not saying social proof from other women doesn't have value. It has a tremendous value. But yeah, even when you get the attraction, if you actually want to get a quality girl into bed, you've got to connect with her, which is what Social Coach is about. Notice how we're called Social Coach, not More Pussy for Me. I think I might own the URL More Snatch for Me. I also own Better Snatch for Me, and I also own Wetter Snatch for Me. That's my 3 events: Breakthrough Bootcamp, Advanced Bootcamp, and Student Conference, just for some trivia. I was going to rename them that, but Tess didn't like that idea. Can I rename Social Coach More Snatch for Me?
If you wish.
She's so sweet, she won't say F off. Many female coaches threatened to walk out if I rebranded More Snatch for Me.
I was going to say things might be different.
Different clientele too. We get more of the pickup artists. Okie dokie. Monique, redhead, did Fashion Week in New York once or twice, I think, and a whole bunch, like 3 or 4 summers in Europe as a runway model, and quite a bit of photogenic work too. My number one wish in life is to go on a date with some guy in Sydney and have it feel like pretty much all the conversations I have on the boot camps with my clients. She's done Fashion Week in New York. She would have said this when she was like 27. This is how bad the average Western man is. Seriously. Bit more trivia. The vast majority of my model female coaches who are now in their mid-30s or later, who have employed in some cases since like 2006, 2010, most of them never got a guy. Some of them have settled for someone they clearly didn't want. It's kind of an interesting data point, how pathetic men are and how brainwashed we all are. Okie dokie. We might get back to some of the questions. I'll just put up the next one to give the guys a bit of a teaser. You got to be able to read her mind in 2026. Martin, you might load up some of your questions from earlier. So where are we in the questions?
We've got to this one. Do you want to have a look at some of them?
You can put them up. Guys, get the questions through. I don't know why, but I'm hungrier than usual today. So
Simon says, would you consider a red light location somewhere like a supermarket? No way. Supermarket's fine.
They're great.
Yeah.
They're absolutely awesome. I might jump in here because I've had huge success in organic grocers and sorry, Tess, do you want to laugh? Sorry,
I just had something on my mind that reminded me of something I heard recently. I'll just quickly add it. Someone told me, this is not from personal experience, but someone told me that apparently bananas in the front section, like the front, where a child might sit in the in a shopping trolley, bananas in the front in that part is a sign of like swingers. It's like a swingers thing. Bananas in the front of the trolley. So supermarkets could be great. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. I haven't tested that myself.
Well, if you want to play Trading Places with your girlfriend, yeah, chuck some bananas in the front seat. I thought you were going to say guys shove them down their pants and ruin them or something. So I wasn't expecting that.
No. I'm not sure if that's true. It's just something I've heard on the grapevine. So yeah.
I went to some of those kinky parties with 2 girlfriends thinking, oh, we'll get to meet more girls. But it was not pleasant. You could argue of the handful I went the wrong ones, but I saw a lot of plastic boobs and a lot of faces. It wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me at all. I did get to hang out with a serious mafioso guy who owned one of the clubs, which was an incredible experience. But I wasn't interested in banging his girl, and my girl was not going to bang him. But he was a really amazing, charismatic dude. But he wasn't he didn't want to be friends with me after he didn't get to bang my girlfriend at the time, who was 24 or 23. Okie dokie. So what am I saying? Okay. Red light supermarket. Yeah, that's one of the best of all. Bookstore cafes are my favorite. Yoga studios, I've had so much success, it's hard to leave them out the top 5. Traveling is obviously in the top 5 for me because that's the thing I'm most passionate about. But yeah, like any of you know who Bondi Beach, any of you Australians, like New York, like the Corner Deli, a place called IGA, the Bondi Beach one. I did slept with a few girls in Melbourne out there. I slept with so many girls from the IGA Bondi Beach because the backpackers had come in and just like it's like a it was just heaven. Bondi Beach was so good a while ago. So yeah, definitely supermarkets are unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I got dates from asking, can you help me find the broccoli? And then some girls sort of rejected me, said, well, can't you find it yourself? And I literally would say, women have 40% more color receptors in their eyes, so I'm not very good at this. Some of the time I need glasses, but I don't want to get glasses because it always make me blind over time. So yeah, supermarkets are unreal. That's one of the places we take guys on our boot camps if time permits. Someone did really well in Woolworths the other day. That's an Australian department store for you Americans. Actually, you got Woolworths in America too. It's an American company, you twit. Next question, Tess.
Steve is asking, what are some quick ways to build social intelligence for dating after being single for years? Okay.
Book a date with Tess. That's anything else is distant number 2. It's in the replay for anyone watching in the chat. I mean, something that people say is watch movies with the sound turned down. I tried that once. I got bored. Yeah, book a date with Tess, get our program. I mean, just sit and people watch and just see if you can figure out what's happening. I don't know. I mean, I'm quite lucky. I got my social intelligence from trying to go from a financial analyst, like an engineer, to a salesman and a public speaker. So that's where I got, plus trying to sleep with lots of girls, and I was terrible with it. Tess, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think your suggestions were pretty good, James. I was also thinking, like, what's a quick way to build social intelligence? I mean, it depends how perceptive you are. Like, it's obviously, yeah, doing some formal training is going to help you immensely. But if you're just wanting to do this on your own accord, yeah, what James mentioned, people watching, if you go into a venue and you try to pick up who's the, what's the social dynamic here? What's the relationship between that group of people? Who's the leader in that scenario? Blah, blah, blah. If you just try and pick up on those things, that can help a lot. It's a lot about body language, positioning, etc., all of that stuff. Yeah, that can help build your social intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I at one stage, I was almost thinking about sort of remarketing Social Coach as a social intelligence course, still with girls, but because that's basically what we're teaching you, social intelligence. We're really just teaching you social intelligence and female psychology. Because Tess is great at highlighting this point, because once you've got the social intelligence, the social skills come very, very quickly. Tess did an amazing piece on a YouTube live. We said, once you get the female psychology and the social intelligence right, the girl thing becomes very, very easy. Because if you've got social intelligence, learning to understand women's games and tests becomes so much easier. Next question, we might do a...
Yes. Eric from the US says, I'm about to fall asleep, but I wish I could share pics of the beautiful Asian girl I met tonight. Thanks for sharing, Eric. I'm glad that you've had a great time. That's good to hear. Nice feedback. Ranger
Add that
said,
to your Google review, please. That would mean the world to us.
If I wound up with a hot date, I might have to tell my Russian ballroom dance teacher about it. He'd probably have a good laugh. Okay, I'm not sure.
Is there a thing called Russian ballroom dance? I'm reconsidering my attitudes to dancing. You seem to know classical music. Can you do that to Tchaikovsky? Because I know he's got a lot of waltzes and ballads. I'm a Tchaikovsky nut. Um,
Okay. I used another Asian girl. Oh, here we go. Eric's telling us I used another Asian girl that I hang out with as clickbait to pick up the other one. Now we're all going to hang out together sometime. Great. Potential
See what
threesome.
happens when you book a date with Tess? This guy hasn't even made it to the boot camp. He's getting incredible results, and he was going through a really hard time. I would like to take
Eric's
credit
a
for
fast learner.
that.
Yeah.
That's the real Tess.
Yeah. No, Eric
Tess
kind of,
is a
yeah.
genius.
Eric has a great attitude to learning and very fast learner, so he's done very well. Okay, let's see.
Thanks so much
Rangers.
for that, Eric.
Yeah, thank you, Eric.
Eric, if you could do us a huge favor, could you put that up when the video goes live? Because I'm learning a wee bit about YouTube, not just turning guys into monster players and getting the love of their life. So yeah, if you do lots of comments when the video goes live, YouTube gives us more views and we'll give you more YouTube lives and lots of content that's not 3 hours long that you can change your life with, even if you don't want to do any courses. You want to read it, Tess, because you look and sound more beautiful than me.
If there's an epidemic of any kind going on, it's probably post-war women that have had their fun. They're tired and they realize feminism lied to them, but the men they want now are unavailable to them. So you think that's an epidemic? What does post-war women mean?
I call it the beauty peak, when they're over their beauty peak. But by the way, Ranger, I was talking about this stuff at my student conference in 2010, and I did the whole life cycle of beautiful women thing, or whatever the pickup artists call it, sexual marketplace. I did that shit long before someone published it. I was too scared to publish it in Australia in case the media shoved something rather large and unpleasant up my backside, which they probably would have. And sharp and hot. I agree with you. There's an epidemic. If there's anything, it's probably post-war women that have had their fun. They're tired. They realize feminism lied to them. But men now are now unavailable to them. Yeah, I agree with you. But I have tremendous pity for them. I mean, the ones who are bitches, yeah, whatever, suck shit. But for most of them, I feel tremendous sorrow, because some of the saddest people I've ever met is a hot girl with a great career who's either past the age where she can safely have kids, or she's getting close to it and she's just got to grab the first guy and try to get impregnated. That's some of the saddest human beings you can ever meet in your life. A lot of these girls earn like $250,000 a year. So I'm not like, suck shit, bitch. Yeah, you got your own back. I'm like, you've been severely misled and deceived into something that's just completely antithetical to the rest of human history. So I'm not happy for their pain. I think it's a tragedy. I mean, just the sadness these poor women go through. I mean, again, the reason why I'm so empathetic is no girl looked at me till I was 27. No girl touched me till I was 31. I was the most unattractive, skinny, dorky, big-nosed. My mum used to starve me, so I was way skinnier than I am now. Just nothing, zero, nothing. But I had my life where I started off as a pariah, just completely unwanted, abused, no chance, no hope. And then suddenly I learned a few skills and I turned things around massively, to the point. I say this, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for it. I think it was Tess I was complaining to. I'm like, God sort of sucks. I want to make more money so I can start hiring a bunch of people and pay them like 150, 200 grand a year so I can scale this business quickly. But post-COVID, I don't anymore have the resources to do that. So when I was in my late 20s, I grew up really poor. And God basically made my life with women awful. Nothing worked. Whatever I tried, I was constantly heartbroken. But I was making more money than I could ever dream of. Now, this is going to sound conceited. I used to have women throwing themselves at me nonstop. Some of them are really attractive, but they're just a distraction from actually doing what I really want to do. That's growing my business massively and potentially meeting someone I actually want to have a family with, not just another notch on my belt. So, yeah. yeah, the pain that young men go through, or the pain most men who don't have these skills go through, is horrendous. And equally, the pain women go through, particularly if they're hot and did the career thing, and whatever, slept with a few high status guys they can't get anywhere near now. The pain they're going through is crazy. But this doesn't happen in the third world or third world villages. It doesn't happen in other cultures. It doesn't happen under other religions. It's just those dumb white people and the Asian and whatever, Indian and whoever else, Latino people that come and live in our countries. We have all been conned. So I feel sympathy for many of these girls. Not all. Some of them were bitches and suck shit. But it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing to have so much human tragedy amongst some very impressive people. Anyway, too long a rant. Sorry, Rangers, but thanks for your rant starters tonight. Please come along to more of these.
Okay, Simon says, I know for a fact that it doesn't really work, because I told a girl who used to date, oh, sorry, I'm not reading this very well. I know for a fact that it doesn't really work, as I told a girl who I used to date had a dress that looked like caravan curtains. We only went out a few weeks. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what this is referring to.
I know exactly. He's referring to the pickup artist concept, Neg. Just to hit that point home, one of the more handsome clients I coached, who was an awesome dude, absolutely awesome dude. He did pickup artists. He did a few pickup artist boot camps before me, including a guy who is a friend of mine. And this, because he's a really hot guy, this model, I think he approached her, and then she was like, she was so happy to talk to him. She's a really beautiful human being, as well as being super hot and smart. And he used a line that his dating coaches told him. He goes, he holds her hand like that. This was his first thing of Keno, and goes, oh, wow, you must be a hand model. And she was literally a model. She was literally a young girl who'd just been recruited by a proper agency. And it's like it's a backhanded compliment. You're not hot enough to be a proper model, but you got pretty hands. You could be a hand model. And he said, his exact words are very close, was, it looked like I just stabbed her dog to death, her brand new puppy. I think he said, I stabbed a 6-year-old girl's brand new puppy she got for Christmas to death in front of her. He said he's never seen a human being so distraught in his whole life, because she really liked him. So yeah, Negs, yeah. Again, the people who invented these, if you met them, you'd think they were gay, and they dressed like Fruit Loops. So Neil Strauss, who I think is about 5'5" or 5'6", who probably weighs 50 kilos. What's that for my American viewers? 110 pounds or 130 pounds or something. He can do these negs, and because he's got such a great faculty with language, because he's a very good, brilliant writer, he can get away with this stuff. Whereas the average guy, if you've got a tradesman or engineer or educated background, you can't make this shit work. It's just terrible. And I know Mystery's gotten a lot of trouble negging the wrong girl. Anyway, I could tell you a story if you're interested in pickup artist history, but we'll move on. We might get back to the stuff. This is the last chance for questions, because I'm going to be signing off soon. We want to ask them all, but if you're going to ask them now. Okay, we'll probably fly through. Oh, you must read her mind in 2026. To be honest, I would go with the MGTOW guys and just check out of women altogether. If you're not going to go to some extent to read women's signals, A, it's going to be much harder. B, I mean, I've got tremendous empathy for most women in our society, because society has screwed them big time. They might have had a glamorous run when they were 23, but that's long and truly over. So, and a lot of them are very bitter. And, as I said, there's a 1% psychopath rate, and a lot of them identify as feminists. If you try to get better with women, but you can't read signals, you could get in a fair bit of trouble in 2026. And I know of guys who have, particularly if they've got some money. So Tess, just give us 15 seconds of Tess signals training. Just do your sexy little faces.
Okay. So if she's like looking over at you, playing with her hair, looking back, she keeps doing it. She's like, leaning forward and playing with her jewelry, you know, playing with her necklace, framing her face like this, doing all this sort of stuff, laughing, giggling. Yeah, they're all signs that she's probably wanting a bit of attention, right?
Golf clap, golf clap. What a beautiful job. Can everyone give Tess a rating out of 10 on how sexy her reading signals training was? So, yes. I see the YouTube graph spike and people, it's like the basic instinct scene where people go over it many, many times. Tess, you might not understand the basic instinct scene because you're 20 years younger than the people we're targeting tonight. Okay, so you must read her mind. You've got to read signals. You've got to read signals. You don't need to be that, everything I tell you, you don't need to be that good at open-ended questions or feeling and emotions questions. You just need to beat 90% of American, Canadian, English, Australian, Dutch, German men, Asian men, and you get all the girls. It's so easy, and I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, we just had Eric, who's just done whatever he's done, 6 Zoom sessions with Tess, and he's dating models. And he sounds like he's got another Asian girl he's getting. That's just Tess on Zoom. That's not even a boot camp. So yeah, click the link below and change your freaking life at 100 miles an hour. Okie dokie, where are we? We'll give, we might just get through the points. These are ones we've covered. I'm in the wrong window because I'm a dill. Okay. After we teach you conversation and feelings and emotion questions and ask more open-ended questions, the next thing Tess will do is give you a style review, which is basically a style defrag, style colonic irrigation. You've got to change everything. If you're from America or Australia or much of Western Europe these days, you dress awful. And the people who think they dress well, they probably dress worse than anyone because they're trying too hard. They're trying to be cool, not sexy, not confident. So yeah, women will look at you and they will assess whether you pick up the garbage or you sweep the streets or you blow gas-powered leaf blowers and drive everyone crazy and poison them. They will work out whether that's your socioeconomic status or whether you're a plastic surgeon or you run your own hedge fund. You run your own hedge fund. They assess how you look by your style. And many girls, particularly a bit younger girls, they're happy to date a garbageman who looks like he's a plastic surgeon. And a lot of the guys who kill at nightclubs who I've learnt off, they got, you know, low status jobs, but they look like they've got high status jobs. One of the funniest things when I started getting better with women, you go to all these upmarket bars and clubs, and all the guys who are in finance, like me, we go to the gym and we wear tight black Armani t-shirts and Xenia jeans and whatever, Lloyd's boots. And the finance guys take off a suit. We try to look like we're gangsters, like we're badasses while we're writing a spreadsheet or whatever. And then the gangsters who, you know, go out and kill people or break legs or run whorehouses or whatever, control narcotics, they go to the upmarket bars and clubs and they try to make out like they're finance dudes. It's the funniest thing in the world because I used to go to this really cool club in Perth, of all places, but it's the same in New York. So everyone you see is wearing a suit, they're a gangster. Everyone you see is wearing a tight black t-shirt and like big, heavy design label boots. They're a finance guy. Anyway, I love laughing at the human condition. So long-winded way of saying, you've got to look like you're a plastic surgeon. You've got to look like you're a hedge fund manager. If that's all you do, it's pretty close to the biggest hack of all. I see all this Tchaikovsky and Capriccio Italiano. I've got to get back to it. Symphony number 5. Yeah, so first thing we do for you is dress you better. Again, if you're an Australian, if you're an American, you probably dress very poorly, and we can easily take you from a 7.5 to a 9, or, you know, an 8.5 to pretty much a 10, just by adjusting a few things. Tess does a lot of this herself because she's so good now, but I looked through some of the pictures our clients send us. They book a date with Tess, they decide they want to get help, then quickly they send us pictures. I'm just like, the guy is a hedge fund manager. He can't dress to save himself. You have no idea how bad you are. And we give you just a shopping list of inexpensive items. So it's basically all done for you. All you got to do is put your credit card into the website and figure out what size you are. Okay, so you have to be very conscious of your style, because we look at boobs, big pretty smiles like Tess, thick hair like Tess, big beautiful eyes like Tess, long thin legs, hip to waist ratio, how clear her skin is. We look at that and go, she's a 10. Whereas girls look at you and they see how you're dressed and go, he's a 10. So yeah, it's such an easy hack. Like getting a date plan, doing your style right, doing the session with Tess and getting some decent open-ended questions, change your life so quickly. You might have 3 models land on your dick the next day, but you're going to destroy everyone else. Eric had a model land on his dick after 5 sessions. So yeah, it does work for some people. It wasn't 1 session, it was 5 or 6 or whatever. You have to fish in the right pond for you. You have to fish in the right pond for you, particularly if you're a bit older and you don't want to waste a bunch of your time. Figure out what you're passionate about in life and go searching for women there. Tess, I've sort of rudely cut you off. Do you want to add anything about reading signals? You did your great impression.
Yeah.
How you dress, or the benefits and the results you see from clients of actually finding out what the women they want are and actually going after them. I'll just give you one at a time. Do you want to add anything on reading signals?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, reading signals is so important. And it's, we talked about the positive signals, but negative signals, guys. If you can't pick up on negative signals, she's pulling away and whatever, and you keep trying to escalate, this is dangerous. Okay, you're gonna push her away. You're gonna it's terrible. It's terrible. So yeah, you need to be able to read body language. Reading her mind is one thing, but what we're really talking about here is body language. Okay, so that's just a clue to what is in her mind, right? And yeah, obviously, there is a lot to this. When you get more advanced, we talk about women's tests, etc. And yeah, that's all based around female psychology. So having that understanding of female psychology is really going to help you in the long run when it comes to not just dating, but relationships as well. Okay, let's go to...
If you do this in, say, less than a minute, 30 seconds to a minute, how important it is for a guy to be presented well, and the oceans of difference this makes in a guy. And if you self-identify as below average looking, this is the only thing that's going to save you. Or
Yeah,
really old, this is the only thing that's going to save you.
Yeah, I'll keep this simple. Yeah, if you're average looking, below average looking, whatever, if you present yourself really well, that elevates you to a 10, like James said, right? If you are tall, handsome, great body, whatever, and you dress terribly, or you're wearing just something that is a red flag to the woman, she's going to write you off immediately. So this is how much of a big deal presentation and style is. It makes a huge difference. So basically, the most important thing is you don't want to be wearing something that she's like, gross, what is that? Yuck, I don't like that. Keep it simple. And just keep it simple.
The colors need to suit you. It needs to suit your build. It needs to suit your eye color. It needs to flatter the things that are good about you. So yeah. I won't use me because you can't see my whole body, but this is something we do in detail for clients. Many of our wealthy clients have been to see stylists, and I look at what the stylist did for them in many cases, and I'm just like, you're kidding me. You look like you're trying so freaking hard to look cool, stylish, and impress the woman. You've failed completely. You'd be better off dressing like the average Australian or American bozo. So yeah, you've got to dress to be sexy to women, which is very different to dressing to look fashionable or trendy or cool. Okay, and then just talk about how no guy is getting anywhere near your pants if he's not a good surfer. Not even going to get a date with you.
Yeah,
Leonardo DiCaprio couldn't get Tess if he didn't surf really well.
Yeah. Oh, for me, I mean, surfing.
Yeah, I'm not interested in Leo. He can't surf.
No, I'm definitely not interested in Leo for a number of reasons. But so for me, surfing is obviously a huge part of my life and my lifestyle. So, for me, if I'm to take someone seriously relationship wise, I want someone who's going to be fitting into my lifestyle really well. I like adventure travel. Surfing's a big part of my life. So I often, that's kind of one of my first ports of call for who I would even, consider dateable for me, realistically. So for you, think about what that is for you. What are your strengths for connecting with women? What kind of women are you actually interested in? What values do they have? What sort of hobbies do they have, etc.? And how can you meet those women? You got to have to put yourself in those places, but realistically, it should be around what what you're actually interested in as well. So you have authentic commonality. Similar values, you view the world similarly, similar interests, easy to build a relationship around that.
That's awesome. Tess, can you get back to questions?
Yeah, we was just
Actually, while you're
keeping track.
doing that, I mentioned this much earlier. I think I said for anyone. Oh yeah, there's just one spot left now. If anyone wants to get the next boot camp, you might even get a bit. But I might give you the old prices last minute. The first step to that is booking the date with Tess. Anyway, where are we? Okay, I just want to share this with you. As I said, I got into business, and I got some horrible advice. I went to a bunch of doctors and stuff about a particular health problem I had, caused by medical people, and I just got horrible advice. So I'm very passionate about not just giving guys, not just changing guys' lives, but also saving guys from stuff that can, in many cases, be really, really bad. So I just want to share, I put the exact headline, Men Over 46 Dating Tips on Approaching Women Without Being Creepy. One of the AIs gave me this. Approach to share an observation, not get a result. Acting like you're already leaving removes the pressure. Pickup artist 2025. This is what they're pulling from the search engines. It's dreadful. Pretend you're not interested. Just 3-second rule, modify. This isn't the worst thing, but if you're not good at reading signals and you're using the 3-second rule in 2026, you might end up at the police station. You might end up with something unpleasant in your backside in a place you don't want to be. So there needs to be a lot of nuance around this stuff. So can you just write bad AI advice up, please?
Sure.
If you make a banner for that. I'll do this very quickly. Body angling. This is so bad. This is so bad. You approach a girl, but you pretend you're not really interested in her. What sort of a wimp are you? You're waiting for signals of acceptance. I mean, have these people never heard of women's tests? Women are constantly making life really hard for guys just to see what a man he is. And you're going in there accepting defeat before you start. Tactical empathy, call out the randomness. I know it's unexpected, but showing you how no, it's awkward proves. I mean, there's some merit in that, but it's vastly overdone. You're just a confident guy who's coming up to talk to a girl because you find her physically attractive. You don't say that, but she knows that's what's going on. I mean, Tess, since you turned 14 and sprouted boobs, if some strange guy comes up to you, did you suspect that at least 9 times out of 10 it's because he considered you somewhat attractive, particularly if you're wearing anything slightly tight or figure hugging?
Yes. I mean, there are, there'd be the off chance it's like, you're in a, I don't know, some sort of group setting where it's implied that you just talk to other people, where it's that intent isn't necessarily 100% clear. But if a guy's just approaching you to introduce themselves, it's probably because there's some level of attraction. Yes, that's very implied.
It's a sexual thing, and you don't go up to a beautiful girl and start by pitching her sex, unless you're Leonardo DiCaprio. But even that doesn't work on Tess unless he learns to surf properly. I can't imagine Leo surfing. He's too concerned about his hair. He'd have to keep re-gelling his hair all the time. Higher status tonality, lower your pitch and slow down. Speak with a downward inflection to signal authority. I mean, don't have a high voice. Okay, that's not completely dreadful. I think they're making it too complicated. Soft time constraints. Say I've only got a minute. If you're doing the most bold approaches of all time, there might be some merit in that. But most of the time, if you say, I've only got a minute, and you talk to them for 5 minutes, you're already a bullshit artist before you start. Generally, women only want to sleep with guys they want to get into a relationship with, or even imagine they get in a relationship with. So if your ultimate end game is longer conversation, dates, sex, potential relationship, let's start by telling her a big fat lie. I've only got a minute. Asinine. This is what so many people are going out trying to implement, and it's caused suicides galore. Compliment choice, not praise. Praise her style or energy, not her looks. If you go up to a girl who's considered hot by the majority of the population and you praise her style, she thinks you want to bang her. It's not you praising her looks. You're saying, I want to have sex with you. Every hot girl knows this. If she is like super stylish, funky, there's some merit in that, but generally it's awful. Unless there's something very special about the way she presents herself, do not start with that. Micro lean test. What the fuck is this? Is this like cricket or boxing or something? Keep your weight on the back foot so that when you go forward with a straight right, you punch. What the fuck bullshit is this? This is from AI, and this is they scrape this off YouTube. Keep your weight on the back foot. What the hell are they talking about? Boxing? Oh, it's the hook shot in cricket for all the Australians and Pakistanis and English watching. Madness, madness. This is the top 10 things. Proximity over pursuit. Use situational comments, the music, the line. That's what we're telling you not to do at the start. Test the water. Test the water. It's like, you're about to walk in the path of an African elephant who could kill you with a little slight trample. You got to make sure it's safe before you actually talk to a girl. What is this BS? The graceful exit. If the vibe is off, leave first. Walking away while she's still smiling. She's probably not smiling. Yeah, that's good. That's what we said earlier. So what's that? 8 out of 10 were just bad or completely transcendentally, dangerously awful. Tess, did you have any pushback on that? Anyone from the audience, any pushback on that?
No, I agree with you, James.
So book a date with Tess and learn some common sense that the most brilliant thing in the history of human existence. Everyone's scared that they're just going to get wiped out by AI, and I'm worried. I'm not, because I've got amazing boot camps. But in terms of people coming to me for advice, I'm like, oh, well, Claude will do it or someone will do it. They're not. It's just getting worse and worse. They're scraping the wrong shit, just like with health advice. Okay, Tess, let's do maybe 15 minutes more of questions, and then you can have a sleep and I can have an eat.
Yes. Okay, where are we at? Okay, Rangers says, as a guy, if a woman cares about your opinion on something, she's already invested in you. That means she respects you to some degree. Yeah, if she's engaging with you, she's asking questions back. And again, if she's asking your opinion on something, which is a feelings and emotions question, then she probably is somewhat invested, at least a little bit interested. So yeah, again, that's tapping into the way women like to communicate as well.
That's a great. That's right. 95% of the time, there's sometimes women are just trying to get a rise out of you because they're a hardcore feminist. They think you're a misogynistic pig. I've had that before. I'm not a misogynistic pig at all, but yeah, women think I am because I say stuff that happens to be true. Next one.
Okay,
Ranger, please come back. Love your presence here. You could turn into one of my favorites. We haven't seen Luke today, so yeah, you've got an invite back, man. Where are you in the States? I think you're from America. Steve, yep.
Steve says, as a busy professional, what are rapid strategies to meet and date women without wasting time on apps?
Just quickly, book a date with Tess would absolutely maximize it at 100 miles an hour. If not, just watch the YouTube lives, watch the stuff we've put in our YouTube channel, read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and then start off with something quite easy where you go to a bar with friends or you go to a meetup group of something you're interested in. That would be the first handful of steps. Tess, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I completely agree with that. I think that's
if we've got a bunch of questions, we might just fly through them quickly. Thanks so much for the questions, guys. Please ask them in the live video. That would be a big favor to us and a big favor to you, because I'll put a written answer to them probably in the next 24 hours, which will give you guys something you can refer back to. Some guys actually copy and paste my comments. They think they're so good.
Okay, so Rangers then says to Steve, he's making a suggestion. Steve, let them come to you. Develop connections and friendships, get in shape, focus on diet, learn skills and hobbies, etc. Learn to be interesting. If they're interested enough, they'll come. Okay.
Ranger, are you tall, handsome, and rich? That's not the experience of most men. Most men, aside from massive social status, they need to go out and try. I certainly did. Nearly all my clients do. The few guys who are tall, rich, and handsome and cool, they do get women coming after them, but it's almost certainly the worst women. One of my favorite guys on the last boot camp, one of my favorite clients I've coached in quite a long time, his life with women is so horrifically horrible. I literally had models throwing their panties at him on my boot camp. It was pathetic how gaga these women were around this really hot guy who was pretty masculine. But he's had the worst life with women you can ever imagine. So for the vast majority of men, we need to really put ourselves out there. You can't just wait for women to come to you. They're the bad ones. They're the toxic ones. They're the ones who'll take advantage of you. It might not be now, but it'll be soon. Again, one of my favorite clients in Australia, big masculine guy. His mum was a model. He's a cage fighter. He's worth 10+ mil. James taught me to hunt me own meat. And he'd had some of the most toxic stories I've ever heard in my 20 years of dating coach. He was so masculine, good looking, and not rich, but very comfortable. And lots of cool friends. So you got to be a man. You got to go out and take what you want, just like most of you have in your career or your health or your friendships. You've got to be a man. You got to be a man. You can be short, you can be old, you can be fat, even you can be whatever you want, but you got to be a man. You can be a bit of a girly pansy guy like Russell Brand, but if you're a man, you go out and get what you want. You can make that work. You can make that sing. Next one, Tess.
Okay, Ranger says, it's not advisable to sit and listen to a woman talk on a date for hours on end, as the downsides begin to outweigh the rewards. It could turn into a therapy session, best friend vibe, etc. Keep it short. Okay.
I'll handle that quickly, Tess. You can add on to me because I've been in the situation so much. You're 100% right, Ranger. That's why if someone books a Zoom call, we've got a series of questions that lead you to identify what are the biggest commonalities you have in life. This is so much of what we teach. So no, if I go on a date with Tess and I go, oh, so what are you passionate about on the weekend? She goes, oh, I'm going vintage shopping and I'm looking for vintage Manola Blahniks and Christian Louboutin shoes because I'm a collector. I don't sit and go, wow, that's fascinating. Tell me more about collecting expensive Italian fucking high-heeled shoes. No, because I'm not interested. I go, oh, that's kind of cool. So tell me what else you got planned for the weekend. Or I let her talk about it for a few minutes. I go, oh, it's interesting you're a collector. I used to collect X. Tell me what you do when you're not collecting shoes. So no, you don't sit and listen to a woman crap on about nonsense that you're not interested in. You've got to direct her towards subjects that you like. Thank you very much again, Rangers 1453. That's why I love you guys asking questions, because I've said something that sort of had an open loop that was incomplete. He's 100% right. No, you don't do that. That's like ultimate beta male, useless dude. But when I was preparing this, because I usually talk to my clients who know this, I didn't think about just saying, okay, and you've got to listen to something you actually enjoy talking about. You've got to have the skills to lead on to that. So you've been your most valued new YouTube live watcher we've had in a long time. We'll have to give you something special. If you come back, we'll ask us to give you something special. Excellent questions. I think you're a classical music lover too, so I've got a soft spot for you anyway. Next question. Tess, did you want to touch on that?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Rangers. It's definitely not sexy at all when you become the therapist and you're just prompting her to unload her emotional baggage, etc. It's not sexy at all. So you need to be able to you want to get her to open up to you, but obviously in the early rapport building phase, feelings and emotions doesn't mean you're getting her to talk about her vulnerabilities and her issues. You know, feelings and emotions, it can be good feelings and emotions. That's how you're going to get her, to build that initial rapport, right? From then on, you know, later down the track, if you want to build more trust, etc., you might look at going into vulnerabilities, etc. But keeping her talking in a way where she's enjoying the conversation does not necessarily equate to therapy session, right? It really depends on the context there. So yes, avoid therapy session, best friend vibe. Obviously, you want to build rapport, build authentic connection, and build sexual attraction. That's really important. Okay, let's move on.
I might
Wayne's
just fly through them because we want to do justice to everyone who came, but we don't want to do a Scorsese movie at 3 hours. That's
yeah.
specifically for you, Tess. So, Tess, do you want to answer that?
Yeah. Hey, Tess, why do girls like and get on so well with gay guys? Okay, because they're basically like women. And they're, you know, we can confide in them. Yeah, they're basically just like women. There's no threat there. We don't have to worry about them trying to hit on us or whatever. That's why we like gay men, and they're fun. So, what, uh, Okay. Steve says, how do you avoid being the ATM when dating women significantly younger than you? Okay, so basically, don't don't pay for everything. Just don't pay for everything, and don't offer to pay for everything. Don't make that the standard. Um, if you set that precedent, that's how she's going to be valuing you as the ATM. So that's up to you, not to create that dynamic.
Just quickly, I've probably said this before, but for any people new, for a long time when I dated like a really hot girl, like a model, I just went the exact opposite way. So what I'd do is I'd just ask him, "What's your favorite tea?" I collect organic tea, something like that. And then when we got on the date, I'd always make them come close to my house. I'd never go more than like a kilometer from my house for a date because it's too hard to have sex with them. I'd just bring 2 cups and I'd give her one, I'd give me one. And if it was like a legit model, and I needed more than 1 cup of tea to get her into my bed, I would literally go to a cafe. I did this multiple times at one of my favorite bookstore cafes, and then would order teas, and then I'd just sit and stare at her. This is a model or a really beautiful girl, and she'd look at me and she'd look at me and she'd look at me and she goes, "What?" I go, "It's your buy." She goes, "Why?" I said, "I got the first one." She goes, "You brought it from your house." I said, "Yeah, well, I still got it," and yeah, nearly all of them paid. A lot of them were very pissed off with me, but a large percentage of them had sex with me because I'm completely going against what every other dopey rich guy does when he gets a pretty girl. Now, none of you watching YouTube Live, unless I've coached you and you've done my woman's test stuff, should probably try to and reading signal stuff should try to handle this. But yeah, I just don't spend money on girls. I don't spend money on girls. Then if they get shitty with me, I go, "Oh, it's no way my fault. My mum and dad are from Glasgow and Scotland. They're the tightest people in the whole wide world." And they just look at me like, "Okay, I'm going to sleep with you tonight. They literally give you what the pickup artists call doggy dinner bowl look when I do that. None of you on YouTube try this, and I wouldn't do this with just an average looking girl. You do this with women with very, very high opinions of their desirability to men because it fucks with them. See, Tessa's laughed. She just proved me right if you read micro expressions. It really screws with them. I've told this stuff around Nevena and Jackie and Val. They go, yeah, that shit's going to work on me. Because they're used to being picked up in jets and Ferraris and helicopters and shit. And when some guy won't even pay for a cup of tea, when he brought the first one from home, they're like, "This guy's different to the others." So anyway, these are some of my secrets. Okay, next question.
Rangers had a comment to that, Steve. Maybe start with a short, free or low cost thing like walk in the park, coffee, etc. See if she's actually interested at all. If not, leave bail. Yeah, so
That's
I agree. Yeah, no cost
100%
saving.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
100% right. Yep. Next one.
Okay.
If anyone got value out of me going through AI advice, which is really just scrapped from YouTube, scrape from YouTube and search because it's the same company. If anyone got value out of that in terms of just interesting or valuable, some of the stuff you might still be thinking of doing, please love the AI analysis. Tess, you want to read it out?
This one, I'd like to hear the panelists' thought on a social validation. It actually works. Women want the best. As much as I despise terms like alphas, betas, sigmas, etc., if others respect him, she'll know. Absolutely, absolutely. This is 100% correct. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Rangers, like I know what you were saying earlier, like let her come to you. And when you're talking about working on your career, your body, blah, 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 it's not actually those things that attract women. This is what attracts women. Social hierarchies. So if she sees that you've got, you know, a lot of beautiful women around you, or that you are dominating, you're like the leader in a certain context, whether that means you're on the stage or you're leading a group, or a lot of people in that context, in that environment, that setting, know you, respect you, like you, that is going to be drawing her attention beyond anything else, right? So yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head here.
In terms of how we actually help people, the first few steps is getting your conversation skills, your style. Then you get to boot camp, you get touch, eye contact, body language. And that gets guys insane results. But very soon we're moving completely away from any sort of cold approach model, or even going out to bars. Once guys get to a certain level, it's completely about controlling social situations. Where we say social engineering, not PUA, cold approach bullshit. I've done it many times because I've done it so often. It's been my career. But most of the great women of my life haven't been me walking up and doing a cold approach. There's been a few, but given the number of, I've had a lot of sex from it, but the quality of women comes much better if you take over a social situation or you take advantage of a social situation you're already in. That's what the real, if you like, genius of social coach is, which is a bit too advanced to teach on a YouTube live to, I suppose, punters off YouTube. But that's a huge part of our course. The entire day of the boot camp is really about how to do this. And this is why we get sort of short, old guys getting models and shit. I don't know if Eric, if he used any of that stuff with he got a model and he got some really hot Asian girl or something. Now he's going out with both of them. So it's excellent comment. Yeah, like Russell Brand is a crazy alpha male, even though he looks like a homosexual, because he just takes what he wants and he's so good socially. He's not quite Donald Trump level, but he's probably next level after Donald Trump in terms of being really good at controlling situations and navigating through situations. But most guys should not be copying Russell Brand, certainly the guys I coach, because you're nothing like him. Next one.
Okay, question from Martin. How do you transition a neighborly chat at the grocery store into an actual date request? Good question.
I might just handle these tests. You can add something if you want. I'm giving away some incredible value tonight. What I'd usually do is, blah, 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 blah. So tell me, what's your favorite thing to do when you're not searching for broccoli at the local IGA? And then if she gives me a good response to that, I call it a transition question. Then, I start the touching, I increase the eye contact, and then I don't ask for a number. I pitch a date plan, which is too advanced to knock off in 30 seconds. But you just go for her number. So just try to change the subject from the grocery store to her hobbies and interests is the answer. Tess, do you want to add anything? Or next question?
Yeah, absolutely. When you, I just completely agree with that. When you ask her a question that's outside of the setting of the grocery store, you're clearly sending the message, I actually want to get to know you. It's not just about this whatever icebreaker was relevant to the grocery store. And especially when you say, oh, by the way, I'm Martin, what's your name as well? You're introducing yourself. It then becomes beyond just talking about something situational. Okay, let's go to Peter. Funny comment. I would find it impossible to attend a yoga class and not be a creep and stare at all the girls. Well, Peter, that's a skill you're going to have to learn if you intend to be connecting with yoga women. Definitely don't be a creep and don't stare. That's not going to work in your favor.
Sorry, Tess, I got to push back on you here. I've done a bunch of classes in New York and Bondi Beach. It's fucking hard. It is really hard because those girls who want some attention or some action, they really put it out there. I mean, I know too much about this. I sound like gay. There's something called the Victoria's Secret Date Bra, which I imported for my various girlfriends when I wanted to make YouTube content with them, and it can turn B's into double D's. And women go, Tess, what would it be like going to do a yoga class where there's lots of downward dogs and forward bends, and you've got like the Elon Musk SpaceX push-up bras, like designed by the dudes at SpaceX? How do you do yoga in that? The women do. They're not there to improve their health or flexibility or longevity. They're there to get some yoga guy dick in them. I know, because I am a yoga guy and I got a dick that's been in them many times. Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard, man. I mean, I'm really good at this because I'm a bit desensitized to beautiful women. But when it's just sticking out in front of you and whatever, they're doing everything they can to enhance it. Yeah, that's a skill you're just going to have to learn. But you can learn to perv in a, oh, look at this, rather than. So anyway, enough of that. We need to get you in person to get this. So yeah, it is very hard, Peter. I agree with you. You can start doing yoga classes in an area where there's not many hot girls. No, that's dumb advice. Scratch that. You just got to have to learn that skill.
Okay. So. Nolan had a tip here about building social intelligence. Build social intelligence by working in a restaurant for 3 months waiting tables. Your tip will depend on how quickly you can read people. That's not bad. I think that, yeah, I definitely think working around in social environments like hospitality or in sales or anything where you're just interacting with people on that level, you're going to learn a lot about social intelligence. Yeah.
We better wrap up soon. We're getting. I just wanted to call out. You get the next one. I just want to do this one. Ranger, please come back. Yeah, I love Tchaikovsky Nutcracker. Swan Lake's probably top 5 favorite of all time. I've got my favorite version. Capriccio Italian. And yeah, I love all them. Symphony No. 5. My favorite, if you're interested, no one will be interested, is Schubert Violin Concerto No. 14. It's sometimes called Death and the Maiden, although they sometimes get it wrong. That's my favorite. That's the most beautiful thing ever created by a human being. Although I find I get a lot more out of it in a good set of speakers than I do on my Sennheiser headphones. Anyway, no one gives a shit. Please come back. Really like you, Ranger. What's he saying next? Ballroom encompasses a lot. Waltz, rumba, foxtrot, tango. Maybe I'll try ballroom. I should learn dancing. It'll make me a little less uncool. Might be able to meet my wife there. Okay, next. Tess?
Okay. Ralph says, sometimes I see a woman I would like to talk to, but she's there with a female friend. You should probably only approach women who are alone. Might otherwise be awkward for her or her friend. Okay, Ralph, great question. I think approaching 2 women is definitely challenging because there's always the third wheel scenario. But in saying that, if you're able to impress both women and they both like you, it's going to go really well. So all you have to do is impress them. I mean, obviously, it's ideal if, maybe if you approach a group that has 3 or more, so that the third wheel situation isn't a problem. If you get along with one more than the others, then at least then the other 2 can talk to. They have someone to talk to. So yeah, it is challenging, but yeah, again, if if both women really approve of you and really like you, then either they're going to be fighting over you, or potentially one's going to be single and the other one's not, and she's going to help you hook up with her friend because she really likes you. Yeah. Or yeah, I mean, how do you get her alone? James, do you want to add to this?
That's probably too complicated for this one. If you ask that next time, we'll help you. Basically, approaching women, the easiest approaches, particularly in bars, are women in groups. In many situations, are women in groups, because especially if you're talking about hot girls, the one girl doesn't feel all vulnerable on her own. The hardest approaches is usually a girl by herself. Even this is so counterintuitive, because if you're even slightly weird or awkward or she's not interested, she'll just blow you out quickly. Because if she's got friends with her, it's like, oh, okay, it's just some guy coming to talk to us. So they don't rush to get rid of you as quickly because they feel a lot safer. So for my students, we usually start them doing group approaches because they're much easier than, so counterintuitive. I don't know if they teach this on YouTube, because they're much easier than just doing one-on-ones. I've been burned by a toxic ex-wife before. How do I spot the Amber Heard red flags in younger women early on? I might handle this. Be a man. Learn to hunt your own meat. The number one way to avoid toxic women is, rather than being some wussy pants white Asian man who grew up in America, Australia, Canada, who's been totally smashed down and beaten, had his masculinity kicked out of him by society and capitalism. Instead of being that, you learn the skills that Tess and I teach, and you go be a man, rather than waiting for the girls who come to you. In your case, I know you because you're an ex-client. You're a very handsome Asian guy. So rather than waiting for the girls who come to you, you go out and get your own women. So yeah, I've only ever had one toxic girl in my life, and that's because I let her get involved in the business. And after our girlfriend left, I just did not want to have sex with her anymore. After a long-term girlfriend left, I just got sick of having sex with her anymore. And she hated me and she got really toxic. But yeah, I've never had any other toxic one other than that. Whereas if you look at the number of girls I've been with or dated for more than a week or a month, it's a fairly large number. And I've only ever had one toxic one. I've seen some who could be toxic and it's got rid of them. But yeah, if you want to avoid toxic women, go out, learn to hunt your own meat. And then female psychology and women's tests would just be behind. I might just fly through these because I don't want to go on too long. YouTube doesn't like it. Yes, depending on music. Check out, see, we've done that one. Sorry. If anyone's not getting their comment done well, please ask us in the replay. I should let you do this test because I'm kind of hopeless. I might just go through them really quickly.
I don't know if we're going to be able to get to do all of them, James. There are a lot of comments here.
That's great. Thanks for supporting us, guys. Please put them in the chat. I'll take my personal time and answer them. I'll do a good job. I approached her the other night. She looked ethnic. The first thing I said to her was, "Hi, so you're Greek?" She paused in surprise and laughed and said, "Spot on." Then we were on a date. Good on you, man. That's quite a high-risk strategy. You can really, really offend people. But yeah, it worked. I've traveled a lot, so that can work for me. I would strongly recommend, it can work. If you get it right, if you're pretty sure you're right, it can really work out for you. But I'm a strong believer in taking the highest probability option every time. I just walk up and do what Tess and I showed you. So tell me, hey, Shimmy, so tell me your favorite thing to do on the weekend. But yeah, I've called out girls who no one ever guesses their accent or ethnicity, and it certainly helped me a lot. But generally, I'll introduce myself first. Or I'd introduce myself and go, "Oh, I wonder where you're from." Because you can really upset women in a big way.
Yeah.
I guess the girl was Latina this morning, and she goes, "Well, I'm Mexican, but I'm born in the USA." And she wasn't particularly happy with being made out to be some Mexican peasant, which was her analysis, not mine. Next one, Tess.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Matthew says, "I'm the old version of James. Can't attract a woman to save myself."
We'll book Matthew, a date with Tess and we'll sort you out. If I'd had Tess, I'd have got so much further. Next question.
Okay. Rangers is asking, wait, finances in investing, stocks, bonds. That's for you, James. What was it for you?
I did really well, but I was really boring. I just helped people with not rich, but very comfortable people. It was probably lumps of 250 up to 5 mil. That was most of my clients. Some of the bigger net worths, but I was doing this in the 90s, nearly 2000. So that was quite a lot of money then. I mean, I had a few guys worth 100 million, but I wasn't dealing with like the rich list or anything. I was just in a little tiny city called Perth, Western Australia, but I did ridiculously well financially, and I got to travel, partially because I worked so hard. But that really set me up to be an amazing dating coach, because I suppose I was an exceptional face-to-face salesman, which is essentially what. Yeah, I mean, the first salesman who ever walked the face of the earth was a guy who's trying to get laid. The last salesman who ever walks the face of the earth will probably be some guy trying to get laid. So the oldest profession is a guy trying to get laid long before some girl figured out, oh, I could charge people for my pussy. We'll do 3 more questions and we're definitely going to have to cut it. We can't do 3-hour ones.
That's right. Yeah, Simon's saying, so what would you define as red flags clothing-wise?
Yes. I might just do this test. Sorry about this. I'm not being disrespectful to her.
Go ahead.
If you've got a girl, every time you see her, she's just putting every single piece of boob and leg and ass on the go. She's putting it on display all the time, and she wears stripper pink and high heels. Just once or twice at her place, then get the fuck out of here, because that's probably a bad sign that you've got a girl who's totally about, her entire life is about being attractive to men, potentially manipulating men. So I like test girls, or potentially Natalia girls who are really hot, but they're not just throwing everything they've got out there the whole time. When Tess is coaching you guys, she's obviously trying to look attractive, because, you know, that's marketing. But yeah, when you see Tess in real life, she's still a beautiful girl, but she's not like tits stuck up and everything, you know, what they call it, camel toes happening even in a pair of Levi's. She's not one of those girls. Some of my female trainers are, and they have incredible utility as a dating coach, but I know where my priorities are dating wise. Next one.
Yeah, I think Simon was actually referring to, like, what do women find as red flags? So I did mention that earlier. So I'll just
I apologize.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That was really valid, James. But yeah, so basically for women are really picky with style. So basically just by keeping it simple, not wearing anything that's too flashy or costumey or weird colors and patterns that clash or really don't look good with your skin, where it's just going to make, to her, that's just unattractive. So it's not necessarily red flag as if she's like, oh, I can't trust that person, but she'll just think, wow, that person doesn't look good. And again, like we said, style can really elevate you, really elevate you. So if you're just playing it safe with style, in a way that the only judgment she can make of you is that guy's well dressed, or he's, those clothes fit him well, colors suit him, whatever. There's nothing that's going to be like an eyesore and she's like, oh, I can't date that guy. I can't walk down the street next to him, you know.
I might just add a bit to that. If the clothes don't fit, if you're using too many colors, or for guys who are stylish, if you're just trying too hard, would be big red flags. A lot of handsome guys, tall, handsome guys, they go to a stylist and they're just screaming, I'm trying really hard to get pussy. And then it really turns girls off, like really handsome guys. Few of my favorite clients ever fell into that trap because they paid for stylists who made them look fashionable and trendy, not fuckable. Next one, Tess. We're going to have to wrap it up.
Brendan's saying, I see a piano in the background. Do you play piano? This is a fake background. I have tried to play piano. I'm not very good. I play a bit of guitar, though. I do enjoy guitar. Okay, so Rangers.
Definitely last 2, then we're cutting. I will do Rangers one. I'd be more nervous if a woman actually into me rather. I'd be more nervous. Oh, that's very, very true. I'd be more nervous if a woman's actually into me rather than her physical beauty. You must have had a bit of success if you're at that level. I'm probably at that level for sure. Connection is more important than surface level lust if she wants to see you again. I've got largely desensitized to female beauty, but yeah, every so often when I was in Sydney, I'd see a girl who was like stupidly Moscow or Soho, New York hot, and a lot of the anxiety would come back. So I just hadn't been around women that beautiful in a while. But yeah, that's important. What's this? I just picked a random one. I wonder what is the history of men approaching women in the sense of how were us men supposed to be taught and educated before this men's dating movement existed? Society was very different, and like the church brought us together, or the workplace brought us together, which the whole Me Too movement's just destroyed, or friends and family brought us together. The men's dating movement, I suppose, I think Social Coach helped. There's probably a few others who helped, but a lot of it actually took us way, 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 way back, I feel. And that combined with crazy feminism has sort of dragged I think the men's dating movement as a whole has probably dragged men and women further apart, because guys have become more misogynistic and women have become more frustrated with the bullshit men spit when they go up. But yeah, I think society did it more. Like the best thing I've done in my life is go hang out in third world nations, in villages, or with First Nation people. That's what makes humans happy. That's natural. Whereas modern capitalism, social media, particularly with AI, is just so foreign to human existence. It was way back in the day. They showed a little interest, made themselves available, less offended people. They dropped the handkerchief, metaphorically. Yeah, probably was. Ranger, if you share your age, there's so many. I apologize profusely, guys, but we definitely want to go over 3 hours. I don't know if YouTube likes that. They're meant to be about 90 minutes. But yeah, thank you so much for your support tonight, guys. Thank you for all the questions. I think this was a record. I love my regulars, but Ranger, I hope you become a regular. You had many great questions, observations. You're a classical music lover like me, and you pushed back in a bunch of areas, which makes this a lot more interesting than me. Tess, you want to say thanks again to my wonderful, you're very mature for 34. What city do you live in, Ranger? Thanks again to my wonderful co-host, Tess. She's one of the best things that's ever happened to Social Coach. Legitimately beautiful girl, such a sweet person. She gets so much joy out of helping guys. We're very, very lucky to have her, and to have her at the level she's at now. Springfield, I don't know what MO is. That's pretty silly. Thank you so much, Martin. Best coaches on YouTube. We happen to think so. Wish more people thought that. We'd be doing boot camps in Springfield. Oh, Montana. That's meant to be so beautiful. I'm guessing it's Montana. I've been to, I don't know, 25 states. Missouri, I screwed up. I haven't been to Missouri either. Anyway, guys, thank you again, Tess. And yeah, as they used to say in a crappy Australian game show, keep smiling. Bye for now. Thanks for your support. If I could beg one favor, if anyone could put any of their questions or comments into YouTube when it goes live, YouTube's going to help us so much, I believe. Like I was just getting some questions at the start has helped us so much. And it's going to get you more YouTube lives, more of this cut up and put into shorter things that you consume in bite-sized pieces. You'll be able to review the best parts of it, and we'll give you some footage from our events. We get Natalia and Val in, who's not quite as talented as Tess, but still amazing. Kota, clinical psychologist, who's wonderful. These girls are all models. So yeah, put some comments on the live video. If you haven't liked or subscribed, hit that. Thank you to wonderful Tess, and we will see you next Sunday.
See you guys. Yep, don't forget to like and subscribe as well. That helps us a lot.
Keep smiling and bye for now. Cheers, guys.
Bye.